news. David Njoku did not practice on Wednesday. He's been bothered by an injury suffered against the Ravens. Also, both starting tackles, Cam Robinson and Jack Conklin, they were limited yesterday as they're also dealing with sore knees. Rough night for the Cavaliers, losing home to the Rockets, 114-104. Head coach Kenny Atkinson thought his guys put up good shots. They just weren't going in.
You don't make free throws and you don't make threes. It's tough. I felt like we're getting to the rim. We're getting there and getting to the free throw line. We're obviously, I don't want to blame it on missed shots.
DeAndre Hunter, 25 points. The Cavs had their two-game winning streak snapped. Donovan Mitchell, 19 of his 21 points in the fourth quarter, but the Rockets win their fifth in a row. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. All-Star Night at 7 right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next now for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
The Afternoon Drive.
We've just dealt with so much bad, so much ugly, so much suck that we've kind of lost the focus of what these things are actually supposed to be about, which is the heart of it, which is, am I enjoying my 3 hours on Sunday? And so this might stink on Sunday. I'm not sure. I tend to think it's going to go better than most people. No shock to anybody that's listening, but it's going to be fun. For 3 hours, it's going to be fun. And for a Browns fan that has been through the year and a half now that we've been through, I don't know why a Browns fan would be upset by that.
Yeah, I think my bare minimum expectations are be as good as Dylan Gabriel has been and make some plays.
The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Houston wins it 114-104. Şengün leading the way with 28 points. Hunter leading the way for Cleveland. Falls to 10-6.
I didn't really feel like we were in the game until the third quarter when Naquan and CP kind of helped us. I think we cut it to 4, but the rest of the game, they kind of dominated us. I'd say, they really mucked the game up. They play off shooters and leave their bigs at the rim. You got to make them pay when they sit in the paint on you. We didn't really make them pay.
They played the game uniquely, right? They blitzed and denied me pretty much the whole first half, and we missed some open shots. We got good looks, but we missed some open shots, and it took us a little bit to adjust, and then once we got adjusted, we figured it out, and that's the biggest thing is we found a way to continue to just keep doing what we do and made it a game for ourselves. We just didn't close.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Audio courtesy ESPN. Hello.
Hello, Kenny.
I'm not concerned yet.
About?
The Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm not concerned. What do you mean about? Shut up. Don't play stupid with me. I'm not concerned.
Well, yesterday
yet.
You were concerned about all sorts of things with Shedeur. I don't know what Ken's going to be concerned about.
Well, I'm very concerned about that situation, which at 6-4 they got some audio. I think I'm not going to attack anybody. I just think they might have got my message a little bit mixed up there. I am gas bag of the week according to another show, so it's you missed it on. I'm gas bag of the week, and then they're playing the shut up part that I said to you. They're playing it as a drop.
Oh, that's amazing!
Yeah, I know. I go, well, there's worse things to be known for as a radio show host. I got to tell you, I was like, all right, I'll take it. Anywho, at least I can laugh about that. Yeah, last night was terrible. I think a lot of people. So I'm hosting the Browns show, and this is maybe what I think people are most bothered by. I'm hosting the Browns show, and we're in a commercial break, and I'm sitting there with Gerard, and Gerard's like, yeah, I knew it was going to go this way. And I'm like, man, I'm picking up, and Gabe Kalura knew it. And then Gabe started doing impressions of me, which were fantastic. He is stone cold on the impression of me. It's fantastic.
I've heard 4 of his impressions so far.
He's so good with
it. He's the Frank Caliendo of local Cleveland radio.
He does impressions of a lot of personalities, and a lot of personalities here in Cleveland. He is a fantastic young man.
Would they be, let's say, affectionate, or would they be deemed?
I think they're in good. I think they're in good spirit. I think they're in good spirit. Just want to make
sure.
Yeah, I think they're in good spirit. I don't know how the people would take them if they heard them. I love them. I think they're funny. But either way,
he's the man of 1,000 Cleveland voices.
He very good at it. I kind of want to go around the room real quick. And Mitch, I'll bring you in because Gabe agreed, Meredith agreed. I kind of observed everybody's like, really? You guys thought that? Okay. Mitch, did you feel that the Cavs were just going to lose last night?
I thought they had a chance of losing because Houston's good. I didn't think it was going to be as bad a start as it was.
Okay. Owen, did you think the Cavs were just going to lose last night?
What time are we basing this on? Because when they put 40 points up in the first half, I thought
just going into the game. Going into the game, did you?
I didn't think about them before the game.
Okay,
because I don't.
That's fine. Lima, did you think going into the game they were going to lose? I mean, Darius Garland being out, that type of thing. Did you just think that they were going to be out or lose?
I texted 3 different degenerate NBA gamblers yesterday.
So how's Zach Jackson doing?
Before the game. He was out one of them. He doesn't really get involved until later in the year.
Oh, okay.
I texted these guys who religiously watch all the games, and I said, why are we only 1.5-point underdogs? I can show you the text.
Okay.
I thought we should have been like 5-point dogs. I had just coming in just without Garland. I thought it was going to be. This is the longest, biggest team in the NBA. I was like, what are we going to be able to do?
So you felt that way too, right? So I felt the same way. I mean, I felt the same way.
Can we be honest? Can we be honest?
I want to go around the room and be like, I was the only one who thought they had a chance. No, I felt the same way.
Can we now be honest about the meeting that we had after the show where we were talking about having an NBA guest today, and I said, hey, just on our radar, if we get run out of the gym tonight, I don't normally say that for the Cavs, and we're at home, but I did say that yesterday. I'm like, hey, if we get run out of the gym, and it looked like we were going to get run out of the gym.
So if I'm just assuming that they weren't going to win, should I have a problem with this? I mean, this was a 64-win team last year.
We don't have our normal team.
Well, we don't have our normal team, and I watched it, and I watched a whole game last night. I went, that went about as what I thought it was going to be. Kenny Atkinson basically said the same thing in the postgame. We got a couple of clips coming up here in a second. But I think a lot of people kind of felt that it went the way that they thought it was going to go. I got a couple of nasty texts about the Cavs overnight, and we're going to have to get to some of those the problems that some people had. But I don't think that anybody was surprised. And I go, man, should that be a problem? Should I have more of a problem with that? Because I look at it, I go, it's November 20th. Well, they played 16 games.
Yes, but it's impossible. Like every conversation we have about the Cavs is whether or not Garland and Mobley are going to be primetime playoff performers, and if this is a year that happens. And Garland's not on the team right now. So this isn't going to be their team. So I'm not going to sit there and agonize, night in and night out about their chances of making a deep run in the playoffs when this won't be their team. Like,
exactly.
Hypothetically. Like,
exactly.
Unless you're going to tell me, well, he was injured last year. He's going to be banged up all year with that. Well, that's a different conversation then, but I don't know that. So I'm going to operate as if, he'll be healthy by the time the season starts. He'll manage that. Hopefully they manage it correctly, and hopefully his body cooperates.
So if you guys are watching on YouTube, I'll do a visual thing. I look like OJ here, but the gloves are on. And I think anybody who's like the people who are just jumping in and are new listeners to it, because YouTube's opened up a world of possibilities to us, and it's absolutely free, 92.3 The Fan on YouTube, is that Lima knows me very well, and the people here in Cleveland know me very well. I'm not just going to fly off the handle. There is a build. Now, when I fly off the handle, I'm going to fly off the handle, but I'm not going to do it over every single game. I don't do it with the Browns, I don't do it with the Guardians, I don't do it with the Cavs. And so I have these moments. Well, I know I want an Andre Schmidt cut after the first game of the season, but he's a kicker. So the gloves are on. I'm not ready to take the gloves off yet, but I do know that there's going to be a time where I take the gloves off, and so I don't want to ignore problems until they rear their ugly head. So at what point do I take the gloves off? I said with Evan Mobley, I'm kind of waiting until the first of the year. I said that to you yesterday when we were doing the show. By the way, Cavs Update brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. Please drink responsibly, 6:10 and 24 seconds for those scoring at home. Yes, I'm disappointed when they lose, but I'm going, well, they don't have Darius Garland, and they're just, to me, I think they're trying so many different things offensively that you're bound to have some clunkiness to it. And I had this thought yesterday morning, and I shared it with you on the show, where I don't mind them trying new things now. We wanted them to change. I can't yell and scream at them and stomp my feet when they change things. And then they don't go out there and run like a seamless operation. Like, I don't think that that's right. I don't think that's fair. I think that makes me look like a lout. Kenny Atkinson, though, he's been pretty disappointed in these games. Yesterday, I mean, they pulled back within 2 in the fourth quarter yesterday. And Kenny said, I never really felt like we were with him.
I didn't really feel like we were in the game until the third quarter when Naquan and CP kind of helped us. I think we cut it to 4, but the rest of the game, they kind of dominated us. I'd say, they really mucked the game up. They play off shooters and leave their bigs at the rim, and you gotta make them pay, when they sit in the paint on you. We didn't really make them pay.
And that's why if they had Garland, if they had Strus and Strus was on, like that obviously is a humongous difference. But, when did Houston go on that run? I mean, once Donovan went to the bench, and I think they paired up Mobley going to the bench too. Like you looked at the lineup and you're like, this isn't fair. Like this would look a year ago. You would have thought this looks like a G League team. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Tomlin and they were Craig Porter Jr. They were a big part of turning this around. Also, not only their activity, but Donovan played like Donovan finally in the second half, and he got things going. So he went on a big run. I mean, at half, I think he had 2 points. So what was that? The blitzing that Houston went with, their philosophy yesterday, that really bothered the Cavs. And Houston was more than welcome with, once they had 2 guys blitzing to get the ball out of Donovan's hands. They were not worried about the numbers edge that like Evan Mobley would have going downhill. They weren't. Well, they just weren't worried about it. They're like, fine. If the ball's going to land in Evan's hands and he has to make decisions, like there's a cap to that. I mean, there's no chance. They're banking. There's no chance that Evan's going to drop 30 plus against them.
216-474-0092. Are there real problems with the Cavs, or are these early season workouts some of the problems with the Cavs that, last year Tyrese Halliburton was bad. I was listening to Justin Rowan talking about it, and he was right. Tyrese Halliburton was bad at the beginning of last year, and then look where the Indiana Pacers ended up. Okay, well, that's one. I'm hearing some grumbling, though, about our guy and Evan Mobley. Kenny talked about him yesterday, talked about his confidence struggling even at the free throw line.
Usually these things are confidence, and he's probably lost some confidence, and guys go through it, these slumps, and he's a good free throw shooter. He'll come back. I just think probably a mental thing, a little bit of confidence lost.
4-10 last night.
It's been all year with the free throws. Yeah. It's ironic because I posted yesterday that whole nifty chart, Kenny, that you saw yesterday that I posted during the show, that this year is the best free throw shooting in NBA history. The average is the best it's ever been in NBA history. It's like 79%. Well, Evan's shooting the worst of his career this year. And then it even got torpedoed yesterday further because he actually got to the line and he was 4 of 10 from the stripe. And guys, each one looked worse than the next. Like it wasn't like, in and out. Oh, he was robbed on that one. No, these were not good. His 3-point shots, he was 0 for 3. His jumper's broke right now. And the good thing is, hey, I'd rather have your jumper be broke in November than then see if this thing is getting turned around in April. So there's going to be plenty of time for that to happen. But you can see it. His body language, he is not a confident player. I looked, he has not taken 20 shots in a game yet this year, while his counterpart last night, Şengün, has done it like 6 times. So, one thing I noticed about Evan, so this will kind of give him credit too, Evan Mobley, we always thought the ceiling for Evan Mobley is what separates him. It's why he's a unicorn. It's why we put him on a different stratosphere, that when this whole thing comes around, what would we say? Oh, it would be Evan be the best player on the team, not Donovan Mitchell. Mm-hmm. It's actually the opposite right now. His floor is higher than 95% of the league, meaning he can go out and have a terrible game and still impact it because he's so good defensively. And he's always going to hover around 18 points. Like, even if he doesn't have a good game, his floor has actually been elevated. His ceiling looks like non-existent. He does not look like a guy who could take over basketball games. And there are so many guys in this league, like last night, Şengün. That guy is so much more skilled than Evan Mobley. And to see it in person was jarring.
Yeah, you were there. You were close, too. Good seats.
Oh, yeah. We were 3rd row behind Houston's bench.
Congratulations on all your success.
It was awesome experience to just see how Udoka was handling, the run in the third quarter. It was awesome to see KD. KD had a miserable night shooting. He has worst night of the year.
Yeah.
All his contested shots that have been falling all year were not falling yesterday. That's the only reason, honestly, I thought we were in the game.
There was one little thing that kind of, it did tweak me a little bit in the postgame. I listened to this morning when I woke up. And here's Donovan Mitchell yesterday, and he mentions a term, I'm not really fond of when it comes to Evan.
It's not result based; it's process based. This is a step in the right direction. Now the question is, can we do it again? He's got to be better from the free throw line, and he knows that. But this is the step in the right direction. This is who Evan is at the bare minimum, right? So I know he's going to be hard on himself, and that's why he's going to be who he is. He's going to be great. But to me, I'm like, this is what you want.
A step in the right direction. He's 5 years in.
What'd you think of the process space? That sounds like the Browns. That sounds like what Andrew Berry's been selling for 6 years.
But also, go back to what I just said. I'm being as even keel as I possibly can be. I just said we're trying new things. So I'm putting him in an uncomfortable position. I know I'm putting him in an uncomfortable position. And I think that there are people who are critical of him going, Kenny, he's 5 years in. He should be comfortable in just about any position out there. No. And so that I have to come back to that later on in the year and either explain, one, they've made him a much better player, or two, that he's not going to be what we were hoping he was going to be. Because these are some clunky performances from Evan and unbalanced performances from Evan. And I think that some of the fan base is starting to groan a little bit. And I can already see it. But I think when you're doing different things, he's going to be a guy, he wants to be comfortable. There's no doubt about it. I know that they're labeled as soft. There's no doubt about that either. But a guy who's going to be taken out of his comfort zone, it's going to take him a minute to really adjust to that. And I'm hoping that this is going to be the moment for them that they can adjust to this and be better later on in the year. Are these real problems with the Cavs, or are these early season problems with the Cavs that you believe that they're going to get fixed? 216-474-0092. And I thought he might be mad on Sunday. I didn't realize that Jerry Judy was going to be this upset on a Wednesday. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima here. Jerry Judy, you're going to have to listen closely because he was pretty short coming up in 5 on the Fan. Northeast Factory Direct to Northeast Factory.
and commercial needs. With an A-plus Better Business Bureau and 4.9-star Google review ratings, call or visit TriCountyElectricService.com.
Whenever you need to talk about the Browns, we got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Jerry Judy's upset. You guys got to hear this. I don't know how upset he is. He's just very short. And I've been kind of, what game was it where I was like, man, I think Jerry's going to have himself a little bit of a hissy. Not that I would blame him in some of these cases. I mean, if I'm that upset with a quarterback play, I'm not the one out there running routes basically for my own health. That's what Jerry Judy probably feels like. So he's a little bit upset about things, and I can understand why he's a little bit upset about things, to be frank with you here. But Jerry Judy comes into this game against the Raiders. Jerry Judy has 31 catches for 356 yards. Have you updated, Owen? Have you updated the total, the grand total with 7 games left to go, what he might get? He needs about 100 yards a game to get 1,000.
Yeah, I mean,
that would seem like a miracle right now.
Yeah, that's probably out the window here. So we have about a minute clip, minute 12. Mitch went through and took out about 45 seconds of pauses. About 40 seconds of pauses. Long clips of nothing being said. Jerry's not a very happy camper right now. Here's Jerry Judy's entire press conference yesterday.
Jerry, I know Kevin said that Shador's going to get all the first-team reps. How important is this week of practice going to be for you guys and for you specifically to develop chemistry with him and try to get something going?
It's going to be very important.
And what have you seen of Shador? We don't really get to watch very much practice, and I know he hasn't had first-team reps yet, but what kind of development have you seen in him over these past few months?
He consistently growing.
On that last drive, it looked like he was the most comfortable on that last drive. Did anything change with him at all? Did he feel better? What did you pick up on watching that last drive?
Just having multiple reps.
That catch that you fought for that first down, just that kind of effort to try to extend that play, extend that drive and get that win, does that show the embodiment of the hunger you guys have to close these games out when you guys are so close, so long?
For sure, we just got to finish.
I know we ask you this every time you switch quarterbacks, Jerry, but is there a way to fast forward the process of trying to develop that timing and chemistry with that new guy?
No, you just need reps. I'm good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jerry. And that's it for Jerry Judy this week. Body language was not very happy, was not a very happy camper.
Which, it's funny that it happened this week, considering, I mean, he had to be the worst game of his career. Not his fault either, against New England.
Mitch,
where he had zero catches, 0 yards.
Mitch posted that the first one where I thought he might have a meltdown was after the Vikings loss.
When he had 15 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had back-to-back. No, he had 3 out of 4 games, 15 yards, 17 yards, 0 yards. Like, what a stretch. And he was never as miserable as he was yesterday.
It's not good.
And I saw people were trying to figure out if there was a rhyme or a reason. Like, why would he be mad with Shador taking over when it seemed like there was such energy? I don't think it matters. I think he just was having a bad day. It's been a bad year. It's been a forgettable year.
It's Wednesday.
It was
time to turn the page.
It was bizarre that it happened now, but I don't read into it like, oh, he's not happy that Shador's the quarterback. Like, I didn't read into that at all.
I don't think it's like that. I think it's good for Shador. I don't think that that's positive energy. I think that this guy. Listen, I said what I said yesterday. I'll get deeper into it coming up at 6:45. I think that he needs positive energy here. I think he needs his teammates with him, and this is an ill-timed time to be upset. This is not a good press conference to have as we're getting ready to go into a game that, frankly, I don't think that they're set up for success. And he's the number one wide receiver, whether Browns fans think it or not. There ain't no one else walking through that door. He's the number one on this football team, and he's having himself a bit of a moment, and I can understand in so many ways. I really can. It's just this is not good timing for it. This is very, very, very bad timing. So now I have to worry about what he's upset. He might be upset about something. He might have got pulled over on the way to the facility for all I know. I really don't know. I just know how we all interpret things, and we usually interpret things the worst case possible way. And I just think it's a really bad time for him to have that type of moment with the media, where at times he's been pretty affable with the media.
This year. It actually surprised me.
I went back. Remember, he had the exchange with Shadell. That was after week 2. The exchange with Shadell on watching it. We've got that if you want to hear it.
You know, if I got a chance, if I got a chance to play some Shadell, we're going to play some Shadell.
It looked like the Ravens defensive back really had you guys covered tightly. What can you guys...
You watched film? You watched the film?
I watched the game.
Did you watch the film or you watched the game?
I did not watch the film. So, did they not have you guys covered tight?
Watch the film and come back, actually.
I'm going to ask you, though, what can you guys do to get more separation?
Just keep running routes.
That was September 17th. So, to me, this has been going on for a little bit.
Well, what was the first...
He got better.
Yeah. What was the first question out of the box? Do we know the first question out of the box?
From yesterday?
Because Jerry's a guy, and we love Shadell. I think Shadell asks questions that fans want to ask. Flat out.
Well, it wasn't Jeff yesterday. It was everyone else.
But I understand that. But he's saying, did you watch the film? Jeff knows that not a lot of fans watch that game and they move on with their lives because they don't need to go back and relive a horror show.
Jeff also said, I watched it live.
Yeah.
He was there. He was in the press box. You don't need to watch the film.
Yeah, his own all 22.
Yeah, but Jeff will go back and watch it, I'm sure. Or he goes back throughout the week and watches it, I'm sure. But I think what Jeff is doing, Jeff asks a lot of questions that a general fan would want to know. Because, again, a lot of fans are just going to watch that game and go, all right, that's enough of this slop fest. We're moving on. So Jerry, if he doesn't like the question, Jerry ain't no dummy. Jerry's going to, if he doesn't like the question, he's obviously going to give a short answer. Was the first question out of the box something that set Jerry off?
Yesterday?
I'm just asking.
There you go.
Jerry, I know Kevin said that Shador's going to get all the first team reps. How important is this week of practice going to be for you guys and for you specifically to develop chemistry with him and try to get something going?
It's going to be very important.
That's not a bad question to ask.
How dare they ask about chemistry with the
all the questions were your standard.
Come on, guys.
Honestly, these questions.
Oh, it's upset.
These questions were asked to almost make him look really good, and he just didn't want to participate.
Well, you had Cam Justice. Cam was in there. Cam kind of just set him up with a nice, hey,
well,
excited.
I'm sure,
no, he's not.
We're forgetting. The second one was horrible.
And what have you seen of Shador? We don't really get to watch very much practice, and I know he hasn't had first team reps yet, but what kind of development have you seen in him over these past few months?
He consistently growing.
It's a fine enough question.
How dare Mary Kay for asking?
The audacity.
She'll join us this morning at 8:20.
I've never been a bigger Jerry Judy fan right now.
Yesterday was just one of those days where you kind of want to ask, do you need a hug? Is everything going okay? I mean, you're right. He's been surly. He was surly early in the season. That's kind of been Jerry his whole... I mean, that's the stuff that turns off guys like Mark Schlereth, right? Yeah. Mark Schlereth is probably you get paid all this money. You have this amazing deal with the TV networks, and the media is the conduit to the fans. The very least you could do is do two things: sign autographs and just be nice and give the media some fun stories to write. It would have been very easy for Jerry Judy to be like, actually, Shador has been working his tail off every day in the building, and we are building a chemistry to where we can look each other in the eyes and know exactly what we're going to do. Even if none of that is true, you can always set things up to be a certain narrative, because there are guys that absolutely do that. In fact, that's what Fernando Mendoza is being accused of. If anybody has listened to his press conferences, people are like, he almost is reading a script of the right things to say. And it's yeah, he's getting ready for the NFL. He's getting ready to do all the right things and say all the right things because he's going to be a top 5 pick or a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Jerry Judy is over it at this point. He just doesn't care.
But we know that Bloomington media is not an attacking media like this one in Cleveland.
On that last drive, it looked like he was the most comfortable on that last drive. Did anything change with him?
Come on.
Did you feel better? What did you pick up on watching that last drive?
Just having multiple reps.
The lobby's just unfair.
Multiple just means more than one, right?
Just mean-spirited from Dan Lobby.
So technically 2 would have fulfilled that, multiple reps. 100, infinity, 2, just not 1.
When J.R. Smith was here, I said J.R. Smith was a barometer. I love J.R. Smith because everybody loves J.R. Smith, but there was also, he let you know how the locker room was feeling. I thought that Myles Garrett could be a barometer, showing you how the locker room is feeling. He's here now for life, and I mean, I know they could trade him and go right into a real rebuilding mode, but as far as I know, he's here for life. And is Jerry a barometer, or is that just Jerry not being in a great mood? Because I'm thinking more, it's just Jerry not in a great mood. Like I told you that after that Jets game, I'm going, something's different in here. I don't like this. I don't like this feeling they're getting. I didn't really get that feeling yesterday, being around everybody, having to watch them walk through and all that stuff. I didn't catch that feeling. But I'm thinking more, maybe this is Jerry being Jerry. Maybe this is just the Jerry Judy experience. And he's looking at his stats, and there's 351 yards, and he's right. But I'm going to tell you right now.
He's on pace for 52 catches and 605 yards.
If you want to go out there, how many yards?
605 in a 17-game season.
Okay. And that's not all his fault.
Didn't Jackson Smith, wasn't he on pace for like 2,000 before this week?
Brother, this is the guy who has the highest ceiling of anybody in that quarterback room. He's also starting off from further behind to start than anybody else in that quarterback room. If you want to pout in the media, that's fine. That's fine. I spent a lot of time pouting over Browns football. Far be it from me to say you can't do it. But on Sunday, I think that we need to be watching number 3 like a hawk, because he's got to get himself in the right spot for this thing to work. And if we're having pity parties out there on the sidelines, because after that first 15 plays, when you start to unlock offenses and defenses, if we're having pity parties out there, we can't stand for it. You got to give your young guys a chance. I know that this is not a good situation. None of us are very thrilled about it. But you can't do that out there on the football field. You want to be quick with the media? That's fine. I don't care. I've been short with a couple people in that room myself. But boy, we got to get it going, man. My goodness gracious, guys, we got to get this going, because I hope he's not a barometer for what it is in the locker room, where this thing's dead in the water. 216-474-0092. Coming up at 8:20 this morning, Mary Kate Cabot. We'll get her thoughts on it. She was one of the people who obviously asked Jerry Judy one of those questions, saying, just because I have my doubts doesn't mean I don't want them to be successful. Listen closely in 5 on the Fan.
Anthony Lima for Floors with a Z.
Crest offers something for everyone. Treat yourself or a loved one to a Woodhouse Spa gift card. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Increasing congestion 77 north from Gent to Wheatley and 90 east from 71 to Carnegie. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
When you want the latest on the Cavs, we're the station you turn to first. 92.3 The Fan is Cleveland's home for breaking sports news. Your teams, your station.
I hope I'm not being taken out of context here when we play this audio, because I want to make sure it's a 4-hour show. Some people pick it up in snippets. I want to make sure we're being taken the right way. That coming up in moments. The Fan did just post, Joey just posted the video of us talking about the Jerry Judy press conference, if you want to call it that. Really was an interrogation is what he turned it into. I don't blame Jerry Judy for being frustrated. I'm frustrated watching this offense. I think the Browns fans are frustrated watching this offense. I'm trying to be understanding. However, I think that this is the worst possible timing, and I think I'm watching him like a hawk coming up on Sunday. Because I've already seen, you brought up watching Isaiah Bond. It's like, well, finish your route. What are you doing? Finish here. Let's not do this. You're too much of a rookie to not be finishing routes. That's your words.
I've noticed all year that the people that look at film, because I know it's been in vogue to rip the offense for good reason. They can't score 17 points. That's been the running theme of the year. They couldn't get there. Again, even with all the great field position they had, that the defense with their dominant effort provided. But I've seen the film buffs all year say, that's not a good route. That's not a good route. That is not what Kevin Stefanski most likely wanted with that route. Like, not on the same page with the quarterbacks all year.
Yeah. He's got to be, if you want to snap at the media, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. You and I have been short with some of them people in there too. I get it to some certain degree. If it were unfair, it's unfair. But it's okay, and it wasn't like he started cussing him out or anything like that. Maybe it was a bad day. But on Sunday, it's a 5-yard out. That better be a 5-yard out because he needs you. All right? This has to be positive energy. We got to pick this thing up because the Raiders are going to be doing everything they can. That's a bad football team, but they're going to be doing everything they can, and they're going to send the house after him. And you got to be at the spot where you got to be at, and we can't be sitting there pouting. And I know it's difficult. I get that. I'm not the one out there running routes. I'll probably have something bad for my health later on today. You're the one who's a finely tuned athlete, but you got to be in the spot you got to be at. So yesterday, I drew the ire of some because it was like they were saying, Kenny, you're giving up on Shedeur. And I go, I'm not giving up on Shedeur. I'm being honest with myself. And being honest with myself sometimes isn't the most popular thing to say. And I said, guys, I think we need to brace ourselves. Sunday ain't going to go well. And we need to be ready for the fallout on that. And it's a 4-hour show, so maybe it was taken a different way. I'm not angry over it. I do want to play this snippet. Here is Nick and Jonathan talking about some of the people who... And Tyvis Powell's even brought this up. Maybe there's a section of the fan base that wants Shedeur to fail. Talking about some of the anti-Shedeur.
Well, why would you? That
rhetoric.
I don't understand. Why would you want any of the quarterbacks? I understood the Shedeur fans that wanted Dillon to suck so they could get Shedeur speed up, get him in the game. I totally understand that. I do not understand why anybody would be sitting here today rooting for Shedeur to be bad when that's one of the darts that you're throwing. And if he ends up being really good, then you've saved the team from having to go draft a quarterback next year.
Unless you're part of the grassroots campaign that's probably from Oregon that's a big Dylan Gabriel fan or
I have
something.
not met anybody in that campaign.
There's been a couple, but it's certainly not as powerful or as strong and as wide-reaching as Shedeur's fan base. But if you're a Browns fan, I'm not rooting against any of these guys. I want them all to be successful, and I certainly want Shedeur Sanders to be successful. However, I think that might have got a little lost in translation.
Do I have to declare myself as a Shahater or Shaporter? Because I got to be honest with you, the anti-Shedeur folks who are also Cleveland Browns fans might just push me to do it.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's the Shapanic.
There's been a lot of Shapanic that has set in.
Ken has every right to feel the way that he feels, but hearing Ken say today, I expect him to be bad on Sunday. I'm like, that's just panic. That's living in our fears. I don't think we should be doing that.
I feel like the anti-Shedeur people, they've been waiting to choose a side and they finally just got to choose that side for themselves. And then once they chose that side, they've just dug themselves even further and further. Like even like Lima, for instance, and I don't even know if he truly is an anti-Shador person. If he doesn't like being labeled that, I'm sorry, I apologize. But like
I don't care. But we apologize for nothing.
The idea that like it seemed like in the past couple weeks he then like legitimately chose this side that he was anti, and it just then you just kind of, all right, my feet's in the mud, and here we get after it now, and it just is one of those deals. And I feel like a lot of people have also entered from that same space as well.
I'm sure you're going to want to have to say something about that here in a second. Can I just say this?
Yeah.
Guys, if it were 1776, I want America to beat the British. I would probably have a feeling that in my head going forward, we're probably going to lose to the British. Okay? I'm a Perry High School alum down in Canton. If they played Massillon tomorrow, I'd want Perry to win. I probably have a feeling on how it's going to go. We get feelings. You're an underdog for a reason. And it's not a panic situation. It's a truth situation. I'm not panicking. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping he looks good. But if the situation is he doesn't have a lot of experience with these guys, he doesn't have a lot of experience within the offense may not even be fully tailored to him. He's got these habits that are going to be very hard to break within 1 week, 3 days of practice. I'm not expecting a good Sunday, but I want him to be successful. I want this thing to go well. I just don't think it's going to go well. There's a huge difference between those things, but it doesn't mean, Shador's terrible and it's a waste of our time. No. We got plenty of time. This team isn't going anywhere. I just want this thing to be successful, and I just get a feeling it's not.
Yeah, I think Jonathan was worried at first about the label of like people like me, and I think the Shador fans are doing way too much of this. I think they're so invested in Shador that they have to decide who's with us and who's against us in the local media, in the national media, and I just think it's overanalysis. I think it's because they're probably not all that optimistic about Shador and the experience with the Browns, and kind of it's for good reason because of this situation.
The same way.
Like I think you're so preoccupied on each talking head, and if they're full, Cam Newton, he's for us. Okay, Cam's for us. Okay, put him on that side of the ledger. Oh shoot, Albert Breer is on this side, and it's like, guys, if he plays well, we're all going to jump on the bandwagon. That's what's amazing about sports. Like if he plays well. Like, I'm a Browns fan. I'm going to be really excited if he plays well because it's going to renew my vigor for this season. Where you saw where it was a couple weeks ago, it was like, what's the point? We're playing out the string here. That's why, I don't know, did you guys not hear me? Like, I wanted Shador to have the team now for the rest of the year. I mean, unless he's just god-awful. If it looks like that half, well, then no, we're going to have to move on.
I don't want to go back to Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I don't want to go. You haven't heard me say Dylan Gabriel, so
I think they could, but that doesn't mean I want him.
So if we're going to analyze where every talking head is on all these guys, where am I on Dylan Gabriel? I've been out on Dylan Gabriel since the moment they drafted him. I was excited. When they drafted Shador. If you've heard me all year, it's just my take has been, it doesn't seem like the Browns are in on Shador. It's just by their behavior, by the way they've handled this throughout. It was nice finally to get Kevin Stefanski open up about his relationship with Shador because it seemed like there was non-existent. It seemed like there wasn't one. Yesterday, we finally heard from Kevin about the different things they're doing to get him ready. Why did it take till now for him to share it? Why did they protect that secret so much? Because in protecting that secret, it only got Kevin Stefanski labeled all the worst things as a human you could be labeled.
Speaking of, I want to see if people believe that because we have some audio from Kevin Stefanski, and maybe Kevin is doing what's right for Shador and the Browns. Mary Kay Cabot at 8:20 on the Fan. And do we have to have a conversation about Evan Mobley? That's in 25 minutes. Keep it here, 92.3 The Fan, 92.3thefan.com. Watch us for free on YouTube Live, 92.3 The Fan. Window Nation and windownation.com. 50% off.
The actions is, if I'm Shedeur or if I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan, I would not want him to take the field because that's going to consistently be the display we're going to see. It doesn't matter if it's Deshaun Watson. It doesn't matter if it's Shedeur Sanders. It doesn't matter if it's Dylan Gabriel. It doesn't matter if it's Dan Orlovsky. It doesn't matter if it's Cam Newton. You need help in Cleveland. They are not a good team. Right. But this is the thing that really irks me the most, is because he doesn't get any reps. You plan for the what ifs in this league.
Audio courtesy of ESPN. Cam Newton very upset. Boy, he's been in the news all week. You see the Patriots story that came out?
No.
Him saying Drake May's a flash in the pan. Drake May was like, what channel is he even on? Mike Vrabel fired back at Cam Newton. Cam's making some waves, man.
Brian Hoyer came out with us this week and was like, Cam got some fuzzy memory because I didn't get any reps when I backed him up and had to go into a game one year.
Yeah, that was something. That was something.
Cam must have forgot that year.
Yeah, Brian. It was like a Tuesday that they had to reschedule, too. Yeah, it was a weird one.
Yeah, Brian's like, I didn't get any reps at all and just had to hit the flight and go try to win a football game, backing him up. So there was nothing there.
That was news to Brian Hoyer, who actually, was his teammate.
Was interesting there. So that's Cam on ESPN. So Kevin Stefanski had his media availability yesterday, and he announced that Shedeur Sanders was going to be the starting quarterback heading into Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of people excited about that. Some people nervous about that. I'm one of the people that are nervous about it. But hey, at some point, you got to kick the kid out of the bird out of the nest and see whether or not the bird can fly and whether or not we can get it done. So here's Kevin Stefanski, and I want to we played the Cam Newton. And Cam Newton saying a thing that a lot of people are believing, that you didn't get him ready for this. And I was upset on Sunday. I was upset, and maybe some of the words I take back, but we'll see. Here's Kevin in his own words about making Shedeur Sanders as comfortable as possible.
Make sure that they're comfortable, and it's no different with Shedeur in there. You want to make sure that all the concepts are things that he feels confident in. Obviously, having been around him over the months, you get a good sense of the things that he's, fit his eye, so to speak. So definitely want to lean into those type of things, and he's working very hard.
All right. We're off to a good start here. A lot of pressure. Biggest game of the year for the Cleveland Browns, by the way, on Sunday. You believe?
Well, it's the 8th installment of that, but yes, it is. we were
come on. You know very well.
Well, yeah, although apparently not that big for a Youngstown TV affiliate to actually show the game, they chose the Steelers game over it, which is a 1:00 game, but they could only choose one, and they chose the Steelers over Shedeur. So apparently the Shedeur
stuff. They said they had no power over that.
Yeah, right.
They said CBS chose that.
I always loved that one. As somebody who actually worked at an affiliate before. Kenny, you work at an affiliate.
Okay, so
what are your bosses telling you?
I don't know television.
I always love this one, that the affiliates, they make sure to do everything they can for their switchboard not to light up. So they say that it was a national decision, and it's like, they had no say.
So let me bring people up to speed. WKBN in Youngstown, Channel 27, which is a channel I used to watch when I lived in Youngstown, Boardman. They are carrying the Steelers game instead of the Browns game, correct? And they have said that it was. And I got to look this up on the fly. I didn't know we were going to do this here real quick. So here it is. Why Browns fans won't see Sunday's game on WKBN in Youngstown. Valley football fans hoping to watch the Cleveland Browns take on the Vegas Raiders this Sunday. They're going to be disappointed due to NFL broadcast rules. WKBN will air the Pittsburgh Steelers and Chicago Bears game at 1 p.m. instead, even though this game's at 4. The NFL TV contract only allows one network to carry a doubleheader on most weekends. There you go. Fox has that privilege this week, not CBS. Says Youngstown's considered a secondary television market for both teams. CBS assigned the Steelers game to WKBN. Cleveland remains a primary market for the Browns, so the game will be shown on Cleveland's CBS station. That's 19. So there you go. And you say...
Now, are you
saying balderdash, Tone?
Yes. Yes. Especially, it's interesting because...
Wait a minute. There's rules here about doubleheaders.
Yeah, you would have thought that... Well, yeah, they go into detail about that. But you would have thought the Shedeur thing is... Is the Shedeur thing just so big with us here that we are blinded by it, and this is not a big deal anywhere else in the country?
I think this is not a big deal to hardcore football guys. I think to the general public, this is a big deal. And yes, this is 2-8 football teams that are not very good. I understand that. But I'm clinging to what could possibly be any bit of a future for this football team. I don't know what the Raiders are clinging on to. I mean, Geno Smith has gotten old, and Pete Carroll is old. I got a lot of respect for both, and I mean, Kenny Pickett would back him up, or Aiden O'Connell. I don't think any one of that is going to get anybody hot in the shorts. But at least we got Shedeur playing. So for us, I think it's a very interesting game and a very big game. Even though that the fine folks in Youngstown, Ohio, who are Browns fans who listen to us, they're not going to be able to get to see it, unfortunately. I don't know television. How'd you get that quickly?
Practice.
Oh, you got first team reps?
Yes.
Okay, wanted to make sure about that. Here's Kevin going a little bit further about it, saying turning first team reps, the mental reps, into a real thing.
I think it just goes back to, we talk about taking the practice field to the game field, and you try and take the meeting room to the practice field. We throw so much at them, so much information, so many details about our opponent and our game plan and those type of things. And I think our players do a really nice job of taking that to heart in the meeting room and then going out on the practice field.
So here's part of my issue where it's like, hey, it's not a panic move. It's a common sense move to me. And this is where, like, guys, if they go out there and they play well, this will be one of the biggest undertakings of the year. This will be a fine job by Shedeur Sanders, and this will be a fine job by Kevin Stefanski. Because, again, we just had Brian Hoyer on, veteran NFL quarterback, who said, well, it's going to be a very tough situation for Shedeur because you had a rookie quarterback in front of him taking the first team reps. So mental reps become important, but you got a guy who's learning himself. So you don't know really if they're running the wrong thing, you're taking a mental rep of the wrong thing. That's difficult to do. And that's part of the reason I'm not having such a great feeling going into Sunday. Kevin continues, hey, it's time to build some chemistry with Shedeur Sanders and those receivers, even though we did just play the Jerry Judy audio 40 minutes ago where he's having himself a little bit of a problem. Go ahead.
The more time and the more reps, period, are always better. As quarterbacks, they sit in that room, you watch a lot of tape together. So you watch the receivers, and sometimes you don't get the rep, but you see how those guys come out. So that's what you have to do as backups, that Shedeur does, that all of our guys do. When you're not getting that rep, you're just making mental notes to yourself about how guys come out of breaks.
Feeling good? You're just nodding your head. You feeling good about that?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of going through the motions on that one. I know at the end of the press conference, he said he actually has taken more time, each and every week to go over the film of Shedeur at practice, going over what, they had done that day and everything. So, the notion that there was like a non-existent relationship between the two was kind of ridiculous. So it was silly for a lot of the national people to say.
Do you believe Cam owes an apology then?
Yeah, probably. Probably, because he was kind of talking out of his ass, right? I mean, when you're saying that you're
tough talking tone, yeah, I like this.
Well, Cam was tough talking, and he was talking from a plate like we
said
knew.
He was talking out of his ass.
That's the thing. Kevin didn't do himself any favors because he wasn't really going into the specifics all year. And again, I guess I would question why. What were we hiding here? You're allowed to say that you're working with guys on the football team. There's nothing wrong with that.
Is there anything where if you're talking about your backup quarterback, you're not fully supporting your starting quarterback?
Well, I think you talk about all the strides that you're making with, he's been asked about Shedeur before. This isn't the first week that he's been asked about Shedeur.
I just think he's in full-on protectionism, where I think he believes any word he uses is going to be used again against him in the court of sports talk radio. And so he's going to say the same thing to every single answer or to every single question, no matter what. And he's going to make it as boring as possible.
But that's the problem. That strategy has backfired because it has people thinking that he hates Shedeur.
We had people saying he wouldn't even say his name.
Yeah.
For the love of God.
Well, we were analyzing.
And you go back and I was like, he wasn't really saying his name.
Think about how we were analyzing the body language and the video in the last game in the final 2 minutes, right? Think about, that's what happens when you don't explain yourself. You lead people like Cam Newton to make the worst assumptions about you.
So this is where you may agree or disagree with Kevin. Will Shedeur have a chance to lock down the starting job with how he plays on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm obviously focused on this game.
Very short answer.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's obvious. If he plays well, that's it for the Dylan Gabriel experience for a while.
If he were to play well, and then they go back to Dylan Gabriel, I'd be fit to be tied.
Yeah. Now we might be honestly.
I don't know. I wouldn't know what else to do.
We
with
might
myself.
be not game by game situation here, but we might be couple games by couple games here. Like meaning, all right, if he plays. First of all, if he just goes out there and breathes and chews gum, it's going to be better than the last half of football that we saw.
Yeah.
So that is the lowest bar imaginable.
Yeah.
And so I imagine no matter what happens on Monday, fans are going to say, he's getting better. He's getting better. Guys, he could go out there and just jog in place. It's going to be better. As long as he doesn't go backwards, it's going to be better than last game. So, he'll have that ammo on his side because he set the bar so incredibly low. With that said, if he plays well this week, but has has 2 disastrous games afterwards, yeah, they'll probably go back to Dylan. I don't think he's lined up as far as the team is concerned. I don't think he's lined up the job for the rest of the year, no matter what. But for me, I'd like to see now 5 games to Shedeur.
Look at the other half of that coin, though. And I don't know if I want you to answer this right now. I might want you to answer this in 5 minutes. If he goes out there and it goes the way I think it's going to go, where I don't think it's going to go very well for everybody. And some of that might be his fault. A lot of that might not be his fault. All right? You know how I feel about the guy. Could that then sow the seeds for the rest of the season where he's not playing? Where if he plays well, it may. If he plays just all right, maybe it doesn't mean the starting role for the rest of the year. If he plays well, maybe it does. But if he doesn't play well, then that's it. He sits down for the rest of the year, and then it's back to Dylan Gabriel or to Bailey Zappi after that. Do you think that that's possible? I want you to answer that in 5 minutes on the Fan, as well as, well, there comes a time where maybe I'm just making excuses for a young man. And no, I'm not talking about Shedeur. That's at 7:30 on the Fan.
Well, the volatile interest rates have
Losing home to the Rockets, 114-104. DeAndre Hunter had 25 points, but the Cavs had their 2-game winning streak snapped. Donovan Mitchell, 19 of his 21 points in the fourth quarter, but the Rockets win their 5th in a row. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. All starts tonight at 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Got a podcast coming up on Friday, 11 to 1. You got to be there. But bring a pair of socks if you can. Not worn. Can you bring a pair of socks? Shoes and clothes for kids. It'll be over at Bomber Sports Cards, 203 East Road and Road in Broadview Heights. We'll have Donato's Pizza there, 11 to 1. Lima and I will be doing the emerging podcast scene presented by Extend Technologies from there. There should be some guests, at least on the phone. I want you guys there. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. I feel like Lester Diamond right now, talking to Ginger in Casino. I want you to be there for it. Experience the good times and the good vibes with us.
Yeah, one of our big sales guys, Jeremy Levine, Les's kid, by the way, says this place is awesome. He says our fans are absolutely going to love this place.
I will look around. I will peruse. I will see. I will look. I will feel. That's the way it's going to be. I want to enjoy myself, and I want you guys all to enjoy it as well. So please, come on out. 203 East Road Road, beautiful Broadview Heights, Bomber Sports Cards. It's presented by Extend Technologies, emerging podcast scene, 11 to 1 tomorrow.
Track down the illustrious Billy Ripken card with what was written on the bat? Do you remember what was written on the bat?
Well, no, it was on the nub of the bat. It was on the bottom. I thought you said on the back. On the bottom of the bat, it said bleep face on it. And then remember, we asked him about it, and he's like, I don't want to talk about that. And then, were we recording or was that live?
I think
we were recording.
No, that was live.
That was? Because I was like, and I don't think I want to have you on the show. Like, sorry, dude, you're the one who wrote bleep face on a bat and then held it for a thing. Like, that's what you're known for, that being Cal Ripken's brother.
He told me off air, hey, I don't want to talk about that. And then we did the live interview, and then we talked about how he didn't want to talk about that.
Exactly, that's how it went. Why do you not want to talk about the bat?
Yeah.
The thing you're known for other than being Cal Ripken's brother, yeah.
Hey, we have George Brett. I don't want to talk about the time I ran out of the dugout.
No pine tar, absolutely not.
Okay.
At least he was an MVP.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rajay Davis on the Fan Hotline. I want to talk about hitting a home run in Game 7. Okay.
Hey, kind of limiting our choices for conversation.
That and Tom Berenger's probably still giving us an answer about Charlie Sheen years later.
Oh, yeah. But, by the way, just speaking of, like, interviews and stuff, we are getting these bizarre tweets about how stupid the questions were for Jerry Judy. And I'm like, these were questions set up to make him and his quarterback look good. Those questions are softballs.
Why were the questions stupid?
The questions are softballs for him to say, man, you got to see Shedeur. He is champing at the bit. Oh, they'd probably say chomping. He is excited.
Just
he's
say
looking
chomping
good.
Because people think it's weird and it starts a whole thing. Trust me, I've been down there.
He's looking good. This is amazing. The energy in camp. These are softballs to make the team and make everybody look good. They were not bad questions.
You want to do it again? It's only a minute long.
I don't know.
It's only a minute 12
here's
long.
a piece.
What are you seeing of Shedeur? We don't really get to watch very much practice, and I know he hasn't had first-team reps yet, but what kind of development have you seen in him over these past few months?
He consistently growing.
What's the matter with that?
I'm miffed. Like, do you guys understand if we were in New York?
What's the matter
and
with that?
And the team was 2-8 and the Shedeur stuff was swirling, the questions would not be that. The questions would be, why did Shedeur look so bad, Jerry, in the opener? What was he doing wrong? Was the coach hard on him this week in practice? Do you understand that's what it would be like in those markets? Here it was, here's the softball, Jerry. And
really was.
That's not even to demean the people asking the questions, because if I would have been there to break up the tension, I would have asked a softball. I would have been like, Jerry, tell us all the great things that you guys have been working on. It would be exactly that. There'd be none of it. Would not be an interrogation. In New York, in Philly, they're the reigning Super Bowl champs, And all I see is the media getting under the skin of the players there.
I gotta be honest.
Asking brutal questions.
With that situation, I think the media assembled was really understanding with Jerry Judy. Again, we cut out the pauses. With the pauses, it's a minute 45.
And it's even more awkward.
And Daryl posted the entire thing on his Twitter account, by the way. So if the dangerous one hasn't blocked you, well, no, you can watch it even if he's blocked you now. So go ahead and watch it on Dangerous Daryl's Twitter account.
In New York, they'd be saying, Jerry, you're supposed to be a number one wide receiver. You're paid handsomely, and you're on pace for 600 yards this year and 50 catches.
They would have started pushing the buttons. They would have started pushing his buttons. Going, these are short answers. Is something bothering you, Jerry? What's bothering you?
Yeah, what's going on here?
What's bothering you? Is it because you're on your third quarterback this year? Are you bothered by it? Why? Do you not have confidence in Shedeur? Does that bother? People
Jerry,
just start pushing his buttons.
You've already had the team that drafted you high in the first round give up on you. Are you worried that another team could give up on you? Those are the questions you get in New York. Okay, so if you think these are bad questions, you guys have not seen what happens in other markets.
It was a situation where, I can understand why he would be frustrated on Sunday.
Everybody's frustrated.
On Sunday. I don't think it's the right time or place for him to be. Again, maybe he was having a bad day and something else went on in his life, and I have no idea about that.
And that's fine.
But I can only go by what I see. And what I see was a guy who was answering questions in a short fashion as we're getting ready to have a quarterback play for the first time that a lot of people, whether they're Browns fans or just Shedeur fans, they got a lot of hopes and dreams kind of plugged into this going, hey, maybe you know what, he can save us from this circus that's going to be the next 4 months after the draft or after the season leading up to the draft. Maybe he can do that. Or maybe he's just going to go out there and he's going to waste all our time and then that's it. We're going to find out. But you got to put your best foot forward.
I can tell you one thing he didn't do, what he failed to do, was pump up his teammate and the young quarterback. That's one thing he did not do. Would have been nice to have the receiver do that. He failed miserably. He didn't do that at all. In fact, Denzel did it. Denzel was good at it yesterday. I mean, you could tell Denzel was speaking to the energy that there is in the building.
That's a good point.
And he's a veteran, and he was a high draft pick. By the way, he's higher than you, Jerry. So maybe this is
tough talking.
Maybe this is the reason guys like Mark Schlereth are like, can't win with guys like that in this league. They're not good to have around the locker room. If he's surly like this on a Wednesday while they're supposed to be juice, then you know what? This isn't the guy to have on the football team.
That's a good point, because I'm going to tell you right now, if Shedeur goes out there and struggles on Sunday, you'll have to hold my feet to the fire and be like, Kenny, what Shedeur does, you have to put it on Shedeur. Same thing with a lot of people, but it's like, if he goes out there and there's anything of him walking around or anything, because it's like, hey, man, I know you're frustrated, but you got to be a team player. They gave you the bag for a reason. You're going to have to go out there. If there's anything showing any lack of any sort of play, now heaven help him when it comes to the fan base. Heaven help him when it comes to the media.
Well, they got to decide. That's what guys. We still have 7 games, and we're always talking about what's left. What's left to play for? We already know Myles Garrett is a demon, and he's setting records, and he's amazing. So we don't need to evaluate Myles Garrett the rest of the year. Guys like Jerry Judy. Do you want guys like Jerry Judy with this team on the field and in the locker room? Do you want that? Well, you know what, Jerry? This has not all been your fault, by the way. I know you lead the league in drops again this year. You led the league in drops last year. So you've got that on your resume. But we know Jerry can do some good things, but there's a lot of receivers that can do good things that can also be uplifting. Are you uplifting? Are you adding? Are you an additive to the building right now? Or are you subtracting?
By the way, asking you shall receive. Here's cornerstone player, local hero, man you put up on the billboard, well-paid cornerback, all-pro, Denzel Ward on Shedeur.
He comes to work every day looking to get better and be himself. So looking forward to seeing how he do with a week of preparation and coming out here and performing.
How's that energy there, Denzel?
There's definitely a lot of energy and a lot of positivity and a spark, but at the end of the day, we got to go out there, make plays, and get the job done. So we still got to do our job at the end of the day. But yeah, definitely feed off energy and try to take that in a positive way and keep it going.
He has a lot of reasons to be frustrated, too. That defense is playing like that. That is an AFC championship level defense.
And the offense has been letting them down.
And you're 2-8, and your season is going to be ending in 7 games. And you're playing out the string, and your offense is letting you down. That's exactly right. I mean, he could line up and go, it don't make a damn bit of difference. This offense is such a mess anyway. And if that was it'd probably be Ward and Lima in the morning, because that's some strong stuff right there. But no, even if he, and I think he believes it, but even if he didn't, he's putting the best foot forward and trying to give the very best he can give to try to dig them out of this quagmire that they're in.
Well, it's a way that you don't bury your teammate.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Judy buried his teammate yesterday.
You believe that?
Yes.
It doesn't seem like he's very excited about Sunday himself.
Jerry, I know Kevin said that Shedeur is going to get all the first-team reps. How important is this week of practice going to be for you guys and for you specifically to develop chemistry with him and try to get something going there?
It's going to be very important.
You guys want me to get all excited about Sunday? That's your number one wide receiver. That's not like it's Jamari Thrash or something like that. No offense to Jamari. That's number one right there. Okay. So I did ask you a question. I did want to get to Evan Mobley here in this segment because we got About Last Night coming up at 7:45 where Myles Garrett got some support from a very weird corner of the NFL. Kevin Stefanski was asked whether or not this could be a game that sets the tone and makes Shedeur the starter for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm obviously focused on this game.
On the other side of that, could this be one and done for Shedeur? If Sunday goes not very well, it's bound to go better than what it did against the Ravens. But if Sunday goes not very well, do you believe that this could be a one-and-done scenario? Like Pat Boyle right before us at 5 a.m. was like, this is now or never for Shedeur. And I'm going, boy, this is the Cleveland Browns. And Pat's a Browns fan. This is the Browns. I could see him coming back out in the month of December. Do you think that this could be one and done for Shedeur Sanders if it goes poorly?
Well, for a while,
I don't think so.
The way they've been operating, me personally, that'd be ridiculous. Let's give the kid 5 stars. Who cares? They're already unless it's like him playing poorly is losing the locker room, which I find that hard to believe given Dylan just didn't give them a huge shot in the arm either. So I'd like to see what this is. Like I was very encouraged by what Shedeur said after the game, or Myles said about Shedeur after the game. Him kind of taking a leadership role. Like, you can't fake that stuff. You know, there are guys that try to fake it. Russell Wilson. But there are times when guys can't really lead, and it kind of seems like Shedeur has the chops to do that. Now you got to back some of it up with play. You can't be horrible and then get up and talk all the time. You know, I wondered about that with Jameis. I love Jameis and guys gravitate towards him, but when you don't play well enough, it's hard. It's hard.
I used that against them last year. I go, you can't have your leadership from a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
The backup quarterback cannot be given the motivational speeches.
Yeah, that was the only tough thing, and I loved hearing Jameis all the time. I absolutely loved it.
Wonderful.
But this when it comes to Shedeur, like, I can't see him losing a locker room in a week and a half.
Well, it's the same thing that people said for Dylan Gabriel. Again, I can only go, like, I got the first team reps people in my mentions again, even though it's Thursday. But I'll go when we get the break. I'll get back to them. But they're mad at me for doing the first team reps. No, it's about what's fair and equitable. And even if it's not fair and equitable, what's this season about? So you could say it's not fair, it's the NFL, but I could go ahead and go, okay, but everybody and their brother's telling me, Kenny, what did you really expect out of this season? All right, well, if this was a roster that wasn't set to compete and you're trying to find people who you want for your future, then maybe you should have made it a little bit more fair and a little bit more equitable when you called it a 4-quarterback competition. So we've done the first team reps thing to death. Go back to this one, though. The game right before the New England game, before the Jets game, I got to keep going back. There was a bye week. You had a week off between. And Lance Reisland, coach, gave us one of the best answers ever. He goes, I want to see what he does after not playing well. I don't think it would be right to immediately, if they really believe that Dylan can do it, fine. I guess we'll argue about it all day long. But if there's a possibility there, I don't want to turn it into something punitive if he doesn't play well. You haven't set this thing up to be very successful. That's why I don't feel very good going into Sunday. But I don't want to turn it into something that's a punishment. Well, you didn't play well. You didn't set it up for success. So what are you punishing? Like, if you take him out, like, oh, we can't have this guy out there. You could say, hey, he needs to see it from the sidelines now. He's got the taste. Now he's got to see it. That's fine. But I think if I'm starting Shedeur on Sunday, I want to start him the next week against the 49ers. I want to give him a couple games. I don't think that this should be the possibility of a one and done for Shedeur Sanders on Sunday.
If he plays similar overall, like if you have a similar grade, I know they play different ways, but if he plays similarly as Dylan Gabriel, why go back to Dylan? Like, it would have to be really bad for me to come on the air on Monday and say, we got to go back to Dylan. It would have to be atrocious.
I think it's a great point. Because I wouldn't want to feel that way. If he just completely looks like a deer in headlights, then maybe I would consider it going, we got to, it's not going to
like
do
he's
you
just
any
not
better
ready.
to play.
There is a chance some guys just aren't ready. But I find it hard to believe as he's been kind of the number 2 now for a few weeks, and he's I'd like to think he's been preparing for this like crazy, regardless of whether he was getting first team reps or not.
But if he goes 140 yards or what, give me any Dylan Gabriel stat line.
Then it should be him.
Then it should be him. That's exactly the point, because I just think that he's going to have a higher ceiling than what Dylan Gabriel has, and we could put Dylan Gabriel in his rightful spot as a backup quarterback who might be ready to play at some given time later on in the season.
Even if he throws 2 bad interceptions, but is also letting it fly, doing some really good things, I'd be like, fine. Let's make some more mistakes. I'm fine with that.
I don't know if you guys saw J.J. Watt's tweet yesterday with Andrew Siciliano, but might be an awkward Thanksgiving dinner in the Watt household coming up next week. It's Ken Carman. It's Anthony Lima. It's about last night in 5 on the Fan.
It's Anthony Lima for Fanatics Sportsbook with football in full swing. You want to make sure that you are going with the sportsbook that has your back, and nobody goes to the lengths like they do at Fanatics Sportsbook, because with the other books, they leave you high and dry, especially if there's an injury early, but we've seen it in football and basketball. Really, in the last week, we've seen Fanatics step up to the plate and help you out if there's an injury in the first or second quarter of any pro basketball or pro football game. And this is big. It's why they're the home of fair play. They will protect you, and the other legs of your parlay will continue to play.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. We got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0. No one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. How he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field. Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night. Well, last night was not a great one for the Cavs over at the Fieldhouse. 114-104 loss on national TV to the Houston Rockets, who had a very solid start and carried the rest of the way. Though there was a Cavs rally, the team really struggled from the free throw line last night, and Coach Kenny Atkinson not happy about it.
Man, you got to make your free throws, especially the fourth quarter, end of game. Like, it's tough. It's such an important part of the game, especially when you get 32 attempts. You got to knock them down. So, we haven't been good since preseason, really, shooting free throws. We practice them, and like everybody does, and it'll turn now. It'll turn. We got good free throw shooters.
Not only did Mobley go 4 of 10, the Cavs went 20 of 32. That's just under 63%.
So do you think that he's putting a lot of pressure on them in practice? Because there's a lot of coaches, and I want to ask you, you're the basketball guy here, Anthony Naismith. There's a lot of coaches, and they go, yeah, you either make them or you don't. We only do it. I saw one very accomplished coach one time. I'm serious about this. In practice with my very own eyes. And he was having guys stand at the free throw line because they were having terrible, terrible free throw shooting. So having guys stand at the rest of the team was standing at the baseline. He'd have a guy come out. They'd have to hit a free throw. They had to hit the free throw or everybody was running. And they were running their asses off. And this is like January. This is middle of the season, running their asses off. So is this something that's secretly a big deal with basketball teams, but they just kind of, you can hit them or you don't?
It's always weird because sometimes coaches have to walk that tightrope of making sure that it doesn't seep into the head. So it's like if you're just working on free throws and doing the pressure moments and saying, all right, the guys aren't going to do running or do these sprints or whatever because of it, like, okay, you can only do that so much. Eventually, it's just up to guys to default to, how they feel comfortable. And like, that's the thing about Evan this year. He's down to 60% from the foul line. So it's almost like all this movement to get him better at shooting threes and all that. It's almost, you wonder, is his shot broken now? Like, should they have left well enough alone and it just should have come naturally? That's the one.
I didn't know it was that bad.
That's the one balance. And it's so funny. There was a guy around me yesterday that while the Cavs were missing free throws.
Shaq was still 52% for his entire career.
Yeah, he worked on it relentlessly.
Yeah,
I think his hands were just too big for the basketball. I do think
that's fun.
Unless he was willing to shoot it underhanded,
Shaq's
which guys wouldn't be.
was 2002, 2003, 62% with the Lakers.
That's ahead. Shaq shot free throws better one year than Evan Mobley is shooting it right now.
Okay.
If that's any indication of the issue. But a guy around me yesterday was like, why can't NBA guys shoot free throws? And part of me wanted to show him the chart that I did yesterday. It's like, well, actually, guys are shooting the best they've ever shot in the history of basketball. And the NBA, they shoot it better than any other level of basketball. But that would have been annoying. I was just trying to have fun. I'm sure he was too.
Fair enough.
Well, after the news was made official yesterday, Shedeur Sanders will be the starting quarterback for the Browns. We heard from QB1 yesterday. This is Sanders giving a message to the fans, and if there's any panic about our starting quarterback this week, it's not coming from Sanders.
I know our fans have a lot of expectations and hope. I would be doing a disservice to myself and disservice to the organization if I didn't feel like I am the guy. I did everything I need to. I'm doing everything I need to prepare to be the best version of myself as possible. I feel like I'm the guy. I know I'm the guy, but, you just have to be able to see. The game got to speak.
So what are you asking me again?
Well, I was kind of making a comment of how the concerns and the panic that has been talked about on the show this week, it's not coming from the quarterback publicly, at least.
Well, he's not going to stand up there and go, I am not ready to do this.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God, you guys.
Somebody should have thought about this longer, giving me the ball.
What, Mitzi's supposed to stand there like Will Ferrell in his underwear going, we can't freak out, you guys. Like, come on. He's fine.
He's very media
trained. I can't say he'll
trained.
be fine because I don't think that this team's very good, and I don't think they put any of their quarterbacks in a good situation, but I don't think he's going in there afraid.
Yeah, he's well media trained, and I'm not saying that it's going to guarantee he plays well on Sunday, but I like the public composure that I'm seeing from a rookie so far.
What does media trained mean? Tell me that. Because he's good with the media?
His dad's been around the media his entire life.
I don't know. Jerry Judy went to Alabama. You know how those guys have to go through all those stuff, and you just got done ripping on Jerry Judy. What you got to say there, Mitch?
I wasn't ripping on Jerry Judy.
I know.
You guys
I pointed at Lima. Sorry, I said you. Pronouns are important.
I like the composure from a rookie quarterback going into his first NFL start, even if it's against a team that is not great.
Well,
like the
I
Raiders
said,
are.
Mitch, earlier in the week, I'm like, you have to have a certain level of delusion. When you really think about it,
Yes.
to go in from college football, I don't care what you did in college, to then get an NFL team, it's your team now. It's your job. You command the huddle, and you're going out there with all the eyes on you, especially the eyes that he invites. There are people from all over the country that are invested in Shedeur. And the way he's like, I'm born for this. I was made to do this.
But we made the point, the showing of him on the sideline near the end of the game about how he kind of realized, or we thought he realized that, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a little bit more time. Seeing some answers like that, it gives me a little bit more confidence that he can bounce back from the start that he had, not the play that he had against Baltimore. That's where my take is there.
All right.
Speaking of a guy who is playing well, Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Week. No, he is not. He was snubbed for the second week in which he had a solid game this year against Jordan Brooks, the guy from Miami, who had 20 tackles in his game.
That's a second, right?
It is, and he got an unlikely support from the snubbing from one J.J. Watt, not T.J., J.J. on Twitter yesterday, saying the requirement that your team win the game for you to win the individual award is very bizarre. It's best defensive player of the week, not best defensive player whose offense also played well this week.
I think he's got a point.
Yeah, he's right.
He's got a damn good point, J.J. Watt does.
We're saying a Watt has a good point.
Yeah. Hell is frozen over at 7:51 and 11 seconds.
How many has he won this year?
I don't think he hasn't won one since week 12 of last year, I think.
Okay, that seems... I would have thought, all right, maybe there's Myles fatigue.
That's
maybe
Bolsheviks.
He's getting it too
There's
often.
no way. Are you serious?
From what I was looking before the segment, it doesn't look as if he has gotten one.
Well, that would be shocking.
Yeah, the last one I have here is November 27th, 2024.
Well, Jordan Brooks won it when he had 5 sacks.
Yeah,
because he had 13
he had
tackles.
20 total tackles against Washington.
But I'm saying, I thought Jordan Brooks won it earlier this year when Myles had the 5 sacks.
He did.
And he had 13 total tackles. Well, somebody's got to make the tackles. I mean, no offense to Jordan Brooks, you can make a lot of tackles. Did you just get it because your team won?
Yeah, that's weird. That is dumb. That's exactly the point that Watt's making.
You put Dylan Gabriel up there for Offensive Rookie of the Week at one point. You made him one of the finalists.
Brooks had 20
Did they win
tackles.
That game?
Brooks had 20 tackles, the most of any player in a game this season. But that feels like it doesn't compare to the sacks, does it not?
I hate just looking at tackles. I do.
Just total tackles.
And I know, like, Carson, a big push for him to win Rookie of the Year is that he's leading, the NFL all rookies in tackles. I mean, really, he looks like he's playing like a Pro Bowler. But you can tell, like, there's a difference between, hey, this is a guy who's got a nose for the football and is making plays that wouldn't otherwise be made. And then there's the other one, which is, he's just making the tackles 10 yards down the field. And, we're being charitable by saying these are great defensive plays.
I just confirmed it. Myles Garrett does not have a Defensive Player of the Week honor this year among the likes like Nick Bonito, Raquan Smith, Danielle Hunter, Alex Highsmith, and then
Danielle, yeah.
But he'll get the Player of the Year award anyway. That's it for About Last Night.
Didn't I correct you on that once?
Probably.
I thought so. It's like, I thought I got you on
Well,
the
we
deal.
were rumored to get him like 5 straight years. Danielle Hunter, the Browns might be closing in on Danielle Hunter.
Wish we would have got him then, to borrow a line from Owen. I'm sure he's thinking of it in his head right now. We'd have Myles Garrett and Danielle Hunter, and we'd have Captain and Danielle. There you go.
I appreciate it.
That's a free one right there, folks. Next one, I'm going to have to charge full price. Mary Kay Cabot at 8:20 this morning. Well, speaking of Myles, could a bad season cost Myles a second Defensive Player of the Year award? There's some people out there saying it's possible. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, Mary Kay, 8:20 on the Fan.
Anthony Lima, 4. Van Scoy hair. I was at Van Scoy the other day.
done, you're one step closer to a number one pick and a quarterback. The other side of this is if Shedeur looks good. And then obviously then you've got a quarterback that looks good in the midst of having one of the worst offensive lines in the sport, wide receivers that don't really know what they're doing, and him looking awesome. So you might have something there. It is a win-win vantage point.
The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Mary Kay Cabot, just about 20 minutes away. Ross Tucker was on Afternoon Drive yesterday. Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker. And was asked about Myles Garrett chasing that sack record and when he takes it seriously.
I think when he hits 20. Sacks come in bunches. Goodness knows he knows that because he's had 10 the last 3 weeks, including one game with 5, one game with 4. You just don't know. I don't know if you guys have watched the Raiders, but he could have 4 or 5 in this. He could have a lot in this game, or, maybe they are so dedicated to not allowing that to happen that he doesn't have any. I'll just say what he's done the last 6 years, what he's doing this year, it is insanity. It's insanity because the first thing the head coach talks about on Wednesday morning is Myles Garrett. He's the game wrecker. We're not going to let him beat us. We're not going to let this guy, go off on us. And then he does. He's doing this on a team that pretty much never has the lead. It's absolutely incredible.
That's Ross Tucker yesterday. Find out more, 923thefan.com. That was with the guys in the afternoon. That's not a shot at Myles or anything like that. I don't take that the wrong way. Myles is at 15 right now. 15. He's at 15 sacks. One on Sunday that will tie his career high. He's had 16 sacks in a season twice. He's at another level right now. We had a bit of a, not a debate even. Owen, what did you say during the one break about 40 minutes ago about Myles?
Oh, I just thought that you had brought up that you thought that he's looking better as he's gotten older, and I agree with that production-wise. I just think his effort's different. I don't think that he's really changed what he does, individually with how he approaches a play. He didn't go from like a bull rusher to a ripper swimmer type of guy. I think his effort, he's always had all the tools in his bag, and that's why he was the number 1 overall pick, right? But it seems like in years past, it would be, mid-season, and he was like, okay, I'm out on this season, right? Kind of going to shut it down. And this year, surprisingly, after week 2, I thought we were in for another one of these. I'm going to shut it down, and he has not. He has ramped it up, and he's kept the defense and the whole team in these games where it's at least a close one-score game for the most part.
Of all the things we've had to complain about this year, the whole "where's Myles" to not see that has been nice.
There's been like 2 games. That's it. And even in those 2 games, the stat people will say, well, no, he actually won a bunch on the line of scrimmage. Just quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball so fast that there's just not much any pass rusher could do.
And there was been a couple times where, it's that Miami game some years ago, and I don't want to just rip on one thing out of a sterling career, but that Miami game some years ago sticks out to a lot of fans because it became a bit of a pout session. Let's call it that. He was upset. Of course, I was pouting, but I'm a fan. But I think it's actually been even different, and I think I can explain why. I don't know if you want to go into the nitty-gritty. I don't want to call for my own nitty-gritty.
Well, it's supposed to be organic, but you've already typed it, so I guess we're just...
Well, I don't want to call for it.
Nitty-gritty football.
It's
called a shot.
Nitty-gritty football.
Jamison Crowder wheel route down the right sideline.
On.
Jordan Reed touchdown and a 4x1 individual ISO slant.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Well, now I'm nervous.
Well, it's supposed to be an organic thing, but you go, I'm going to do it.
Well,
here's the text. I'm going to do it. You better step up. You better be like Myles this season and not Myles in seasons past. It's time to step up, Ken. You got the money.
I think that he has done a fantastic job, and he's a great player. I also think that what has separated him from T.J. Watt and a lot of other guys is finally, we used to bitch about, well, put him on the right side, put him on the left side. Why can't we put him on the other side? Lining him up in a 3-tech, lining him up over a center, lining him up on opposite ends. You have offensive line play now that has struggled significantly. And there's a million different reasons why, and we've gone over them before. There are good offensive linemen on every single offensive line, but offensive line play as a whole, with all these offensive lines, are usually pretty scattershot at best. This is a bad era for offensive line play. And so you're lining him up over different places, and he is wreaking havoc because it's hard enough for them to go, okay, Mason Graham's got a little gas to him. He's a rookie. There's going to be times where he falls away.
About the Mason Graham effect.
Malik Collins next to him has been fantastic as well. Don't take that away either. Their defensive line a couple years ago was one of the worst that you'd ever see, and now they're definitely one of the best in the league. I know that the run game, that can be a little tough, but getting after the quarterback, creating pressure, they're some of the best. And if you are a guard and you're looking over and you see 95 and it's a different look, it's going to throw you off. And he's creating opportunities for other people here. And that's something that I'm not seeing with a lot of other guys. It's not just him and his sacks. That sticks out. These are opportunities for other guys. I know Alex Wright's been hurt. He had the quad injury. I think he was limited yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. You've had created opportunities for him. Other players along this defensive line. I mentioned Harris. I mentioned Collins. It's been fantastic across that line. And it's because Jim Schwartz has not been afraid here over these last couple of years to put him in different spots. And it's paying off in dividends.
Yeah, and it's something that it's one of the rare times where what the fans want actually works out. And the fans,
Alex Wright did not practice yesterday. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had all been clamoring.
Ken was wrong, Alex Wright.
Small type.
We had all been clamoring for Miles to line up in all sorts of different places. And finally, all right, something the fans wanted came to fruition, and it worked. And it's just, at this point, he's just toying with these guys to such an extent. But I wanted to ask you about Mason Graham, because I've seen some people allude to,
please,
this is why Miles has taken over. But I don't feel that way. I think Mason's really good. I'm happy. Remember, I thought it made sense to trade down and get Mason Graham. That was one of the ideas I had that actually worked out for once. Mm-hmm. So obviously I'm excited about it, and he's been terrific, but I think Miles would be terrific no matter who is next to him this year.
Well, Miles has been terrific.
He's just, to me, he's just been on this other level.
Yeah.
Owen says it's the effort. No doubt there is effort there, but I think he now is operating from a mastery of sizing up who he's going up against, then deciding when to come in like a bullet or when the spin move is in vogue. Like, he just seems to have that wherewithal on every snap.
I ain't trying to take anything away from him, but I think Mason Graham has made his job a little easier. Because again, it's the same thing where if you put offensive linemen who already are struggling on their heels, if you can put them in conflict and make them think, the old Doug Deacon tactic, if you're thinking too much, your feet tend to stop moving. If you could make them stop for a second, you're going to win. You're not going to win the game, clearly, because their offense is terrible, but you're going to win the rep. And you're seeing that in just about every single one of these games, where you have Miles at different places, but you also have this interior pressure with, again, Mason, with Malik Collins, even Aiden Huntington when he's been able to play. Like, you've been seeing some great play out of these guys, and I think it's been because you've had not great offensive line play that you've faced, and you've had elite level defensive line play by all four guys who you line up. And even with him, lining him up wide, all the way in. I mean, you've seen series where he's been in a 9, all the way to an 8 gap. You can't do that with people.
So why is he not winning these offensive or defensive player of the week awards?
Because I wish I could tell you, other than people just have their head up their ass.
Give me an answer.
I don't have a good answer.
Who votes for
other than people have their head up their ass.
The voters.
Honestly, I'd love to know who votes for it, because that might be pretty telling. I mean, honestly, the Browns games are not being watched. They just aren't. I bet you
Dolphins games are being watched?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Jordan Brooks won 2 of them. They're watching the Fish.
Who did they play against?
They played against the commit. Well,
the fans vote for the FedEx Aaron Brown NFL Players of the Week.
Then guess what? The fans have their head up their ass.
You know what? I'm surprised. You know what? We shouldn't even have brought it up.
What's the other one?
Honestly, I feel bad. Had I have known that, then what's the point? Who cares? Who cares about these awards?
So that just ends the conversation.
It kind of does, honestly. If it is truly just a fan vote.
But think about this. When was the last time?
Give me more grit.
And less fans.
Well, the game was in, Spain at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. That's the game everybody was watching.
If it's standalone game, yeah.
Everybody's watching.
Browns have had one standalone game all year this year. And even though they were playing Baltimore and it turned out to be a great finish and it was Shador, what was on at the same time? It was not the featured game.
No. That makes me feel better, though, because that means, like, okay, the fans aren't going to mess up Defensive
Kansas
Player of the
City
Year.
and Denver were on at the same time.
Yeah,
so I'm sure that was
came
the
down to the
national
wire.
game.
Yeah, they're not going to. The fans aren't going to be voting for Defensive Player of the Year, so that makes me feel a lot better then. Okay, all right, this is nice. I feel a lot. I'm glad we talked that out, guys. Do you want to play some Baskin and Phelps here?
Sure. Why not?
Here,
they get into it?
We got to hear our Baskin and Phelps. They got into it over Shedeur yesterday, and I don't know. It seems that Jeff's kind of being a stick in the mud, a fuddy-duddy about Shedeur Sanders.
You have the ball at the end of the game with about 2 minutes to go and the opportunity to drive the field and score.
If they had put up some points in the second half,
they put up some points in the first half,
instead of turning it over like absolute crazy, then you wouldn't have needed the last drive heroics, which you didn't really get because he was 2 of 7. And again, I'm anxious to see him. I think
you
he
didn't
might
hold your breath when Larverdale had a chance to get that ball.
The only reason he was in that position is because the offense was so bad.
That's not the
second
point.
Half.
Is they were in the position. It doesn't matter.
But I can't give him credit for putting him in the position.
No, but what I'm saying
they had
is,
no choice. It's like, here, do it or not.
Well, did he get the ball down the field? Did he get the ball down the field when they needed it the most?
He completed one pass after a great field position to start the drive.
What am I supposed to discredit the fact that he had good field position?
No,
that's not his fault.
You keep giving him great credit for putting them in a chance to win. That wasn't the case at all.
It's the team. It's not.
And they
just
didn't have
him.
a chance to win the game. They were down 7. They had a chance to tie.
Really? Because you can't have a 2-point conversion now. You couldn't win with 8 and go for it at home, right?
If they had done something earlier in the second half, and the offense only put up.
He's never played with any of those guys before.
I get all that.
Yet they still had a
you're
chance
giving
at
him
the
credit,
end.
like, hey, put him in position to win the game. No, he really didn't.
No, he really did, Jeff.
Okay.
He got them down the field. He had to make one key play to get him there, and it would have been nice if they would have scored a touchdown. If they would have scored a touchdown on 3rd down and 5 when both those guys were open in the end zone, then would you give him the credit?
He's got to play well on Sunday now. I don't think it's going to go well. I want him to play well on Sunday so badly. By the way, if he plays well on Sunday, they're going to win, right?
Boy, it'd be hard to... it would be really hard to see how that...
Don't see how the defense is going to lose it for you.
Yeah, why would all of a sudden this be the week that the defense falls apart?
Well, it is the Browns.
I know they did... The Carson Wentz thing still bothers me, that they let him drive. That was a mano-a-mano defense win the game, and they blew it. But that's the only time. I mean, the defense has been excellent.
The offense didn't put up any...
I don't think it's going to go great. I think they do have something on tape now. I don't think the Raiders are very good, though, and I totally agree with Baskin. It's like, he's almost willed himself to do it, and those were good throws. The throw to Gage Larverdale was a great play by Awuzie. And so now I'm just like, man, Jeff is being very uncompromising about it. I really hope he does well on Sunday. Will he do well on Sunday, or am I going to end up being right?
Can Baskin or Phelps win Gas Bag of the Week with that effort right there?
No, they're going to be louder than that. They got to tell each other to shut up. And then immediately apologize.
They need an Akron-Kent State Mid-American Conference fight to truly set them off.
Mary Kay Cabot, am I going to be right about Sunday? And could this be the season on Sunday for Shedeur, Ken Carman, Tone Master General, Gas Bag, and Rat Boy on the Fan?
Anthony Lima 4. QC Kinetics, where this is the
Once the Cavs, though, had their 2-game winning streak snapped, Donovan Mitchell, 19 of his 21 points in the fourth quarter, but the Rockets win their 5th in a row. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. All starts out at 7 o'clock right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
One hour from now, Justin Termini going to join us on the show. Is it just early and things need to be ironed out, or are there real problems with the Cavs? And am I avoiding a conversation we need to have about Evan Mobley? That coming up here in a bit. However, let's go to the fan hotline and welcome in Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland Plain Dealer, cleveland.com, at Mary Kay Cabot on X, formerly Twitter. Hello, Mary Kay.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
We're doing well. Is Sunday make or break for Shedeur Sanders?
No, not at all. I really do not believe that. I think it's a great, great opportunity for him to go out there and build on what he did versus the Ravens and have an opportunity to maybe get another start after that. But I don't think it's make or break by any stretch of the imagination.
So if he goes out there and he doesn't play very well or the offense struggles like they've been, say he has a Dylan Gabriel game. Dylan Gabriel hasn't been very great. Does he get the start next week against San Francisco?
It depends on a couple of things. First of all, has Dylan Gabriel been cleared from the concussion protocol? Once that happens, then the Browns have to decide, is it time to go back to Dylan and let him finish what he started? And I know they wanted to see him for a few more games. Or is it time to see if Shedeur can build again on what he did? And if he has a Dylan-like game and improves on the Ravens game, then I personally think that he would deserve to keep that going a little bit and start another game or another couple of games and let him have his string. I don't think that means that you can't go back to Dylan at some point, because I still think that you need to see some things from him, especially with Tommy Rees calling the plays.
Mary Kay, I got to be honest, I think I'm finished with what Dylan started. I don't really need to see a lot more of that. You're right, though. If Shedeur plays similar to Dylan, what is the point of going back to Dylan now? We've seen, how many games did Dylan? Let's get some games on the resume for Shedeur at this point.
Well, there are still 7 games left, and the reason why I would not be opposed to going back and seeing more of Dylan Gabriel is because people are way too quick to write off rookie quarterbacks. It takes time, it takes development, and it also takes a supporting cast. And if you're having offensive line problems, which the Browns have had, if you're having receiver problems, which the Browns have had, it's very hard for a young rookie quarterback to go in there and solve all of the problems of an offense by himself, or not by himself, but without the supporting cast or the help that he needs. So I think people are way too quick to do that. I think Dylan was coming up the learning curve and doing some better things. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing more of him, because I like some of the things that he was doing with Tommy calling those plays. Having said that, I do think that you need to play it out with Shedeur a little bit. If he has some momentum and he is flourishing in Tommy's scheme that they're going to devise for him this weekend, then I would give him a chance to build some continuity and some confidence and keep it going for a while.
What was up with Jerry Judy yesterday?
It's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that question, but I like to give a player the benefit of the doubt, and until I know why he does something out of character, then I don't think that I don't appreciate, or I don't think it's right for people to bury a player when we don't know what the issue is. And we have no idea why he went up there and didn't feel like talking. I will say this, though. The reporters and the team and everyone, if you don't feel like talking that day at the podium and you don't have it for whatever reason and you want to switch to another day, nobody would fault a player for that. If you just have something going on, in your mind or your life or in your schedule, and you just don't want to be up there in that moment and you're not going to be able to answer questions, it's perfectly fine to say, hey, you know what, let me switch with someone. I'll go up there tomorrow.
Well, I had said to Lima, and Lima even said back, it's like, well, I don't know if he got pulled over on the way to the facility or something like that, and he was upset about that. It's like, well, you could speak on another day, but now that he's spoken, it's like, man, you need some positivity as you get ready with this rookie quarterback. There's a lot of things that I think are stacked against them as a football team. and their offense and the Shedeur in general. It's like, man, you're the number one wide receiver. We need some positivity out of you to get going with this, because I already don't have a great feeling, and I can't help but when I saw that audio yesterday, when I saw you guys talking to him, I felt a bit worse.
Well, I'm sure that Jerry Judy didn't step up there and think, oh, geez, I think I'm going to ruin Shedeur's big moment here. He must have had something going on. Jerry is really great about getting up there. You know, many guys don't even talk to us during the week, but Jerry's really good after games. I think there was only one game this year where he was kind of upset and didn't talk, but for the most part, he's really good after games. He's a great quote. He's accommodating. He's approachable. And so, like I said, I like to give a player the benefit of the doubt, and until I know why he did something like that, then I'm not going to pass judgment on it, because I really highly doubt that Jerry was trying to ruin Shedeur's big day.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us right now on the hotline. One of the storylines I'm fascinated with this week is how Tommy Rees and Kevin Stefanski operate this offense with Shedeur, because there's like a risk-reward, to me, a debate that could be had. Like Dylan, we know what the offense kind of looked like. He wasn't making a ton of the really bad mistakes that can truly kill you. While Shedeur, he might make those mistakes, but will they allow him to if it means they can stretch the field, go vertical, and maybe incorporate some new dynamics into the offense?
Well, the thing with Shedeur Sanders is that he is going to need a tweaked or a different game plan than what Dylan had. He's not as mobile as Dylan. And while you can roll him out and run the boots and stuff like that, you're not going to have as much quarterback movement in the game plan. As you mentioned, you might have some more deeper shots in the game plan, but you also have to have time to throw those. And the Raiders, even though they don't have a great defense, they do some things well. They're going to blitz him, and they also stop the run pretty well. They're second in the NFL in average yards allowed in the running game. So, that can make it difficult to get your passing game going. So I do think that you're going to see perhaps maybe a little bit of a pared down playbook. I don't think he's going to have as much at his disposal as Dylan did, because as we have been told since day one, Shedeur has been coming up the learning curve. He had further to go in terms of running a pro-style offense. And now we know, and I think it's so interesting, that Kevin spends a lot of time with him one-on-one in his office, going over his tape from the day before, talking defenses, talking, just how he saw things and whatnot. And for all the people that think the Browns are sabotaging Shedeur Sanders, which has always been a preposterous notion, they have spent so much extra time with this young man, and they've altered their entire practice schedule during the week to make sure that he is being developed thoughtfully, deliberately, and adequately. So he's coming up that learning curve, but he's not there yet. And so they're going to have to dial it back a little bit for him, but they will give him plenty of things to do that he feels really comfortable with.
But that is great that you said that, Mary Kay, because I feel like, especially the national media.
Lima says Cam Newton deserves to, or has to.
Well, I think he should apologize.
An apology to Kevin.
I mean, he was operating under the assumption that Kevin doesn't like him, doesn't work with him, that he's a complete afterthought. And you're in the building. The only thing I wish Kevin would have been a little more forthright about all that stuff, just so that people would not speculate things like that. I mean, they're analyzing his face on draft night and the body language, over on the sidelines. Like, Kevin could have avoided all of that had he had just been a little more specific about the plan for Shedeur this year.
Well, I mean, I think he has tried to say, hey, we're bringing him along and we're doing all those things. He just hasn't been super specific about it. And the only reason that we know that Shedeur is going in there early mornings and he's in Kevin's office with him is because Myles Garrett revealed that. And so I did follow up and ask Kevin about it yesterday, and then he was willing to say that, yes, that does happen. But he's not one to pat himself on the back, and that's just not who he is. And he's going to give us the bare minimum amount of information. And the good thing that happens out there in Berea is the fact that his coordinators and his assistants are excellent quotes. And I'm sure you guys hear that and you see that. We'll have Tommy today Tommy will give us all kinds of stuff. All of those guys do. So they kind of make up for the non-answers that we get from Kevin. But I think he has been trying to say, look, we're bringing him along at a certain pace, and we are sticking to our plan.
So how do you think Sunday's going to go for him?
I think it's going to go well in some spots, and I think there will be some mistakes. My whole thing with Shedeur for this Sunday is that I think he's going to have to play within himself and not try to be legendary in this game, not try to do too much and prove to the world that he should have been taken in the first round or that he should be the Browns starting quarterback for the next 100 years. He's got to try to just manage the game to the best of his ability and not try to go nuts out there, because that's when he's going to run into problems. That's when he's going to press. That's when he's going to retreat and revert to some bad behaviors. So they have to find a number of things that he can do well and feel good about. And even if that involves getting some of his hungry dog guys a little bit more involved, so be it. He's got to feel confident in what he's doing. I think he'll find completions because he throws a beautiful ball. I've been telling you guys that since day one. The thing that I always see from him is ball placement. It's uncanny for a rookie. He can just, lightly lift it over the head of a linebacker. I mean, he can vary the ball speed, the arm angles, and he can place it where he wants it to go in a way that the receiver can catch it pretty easily. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. That takes a long time usually to learn in the NFL, and he brings that naturally. And I think that, therefore, when he gets down into the red zone and the end zone, that he should be able to throw some touchdown passes.
What do you think it'll be like, Mary Kay, if Myles Garrett sets the sack record this season on one of the worst teams in football?
I think he is going to set that sack record, absolutely 100%. There's almost no doubt in my mind that he's going to set that sack record, and I think the Browns will probably help see to it that he does. And there are certain ways that you can go about moving him around and making sure that he has favorable matchups. So that's one great thing that they're going to be able to take out of this season. And I think he should also win NFL Defensive Player of the Year, even though they're in a losing season. I don't think they should take that away from him and penalize him, because it's actually harder to get these sacks when they're playing from behind a lot and when they're not cooking out there in the third and fourth quarter. So I think it's been a tremendous season, the best I've ever seen from him. I've always thought that there was more in the tank for Myles Garrett, and that he was leaving a little bit of meat on the bone out there each season, just because you see the incredible physical talent. And I think this year he's leaving it all out there.
So I have to do some weird housekeeping with you. What is the situation with Deshaun? What do they have to do? Do they have to open up a window? When? What is it? They didn't open it up this week, the practice window. What's going on there?
Okay, so just to clarify this, they do not have any kind of a deadline for opening up the 21-day practice window, designating him for return from reserve PUP. They don't have any deadline for that. They can do that, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. My feeling right now is that in a perfect world, they would probably wait until the off season to put him out on the practice field. And be careful with the fact that this is a revision of an Achilles, and there really probably isn't a great reason to try to throw him into a football game on only 3 weeks of practice when he's been out for so incredibly long. So I think they would probably like to bring him back slowly in OTAs and minicamp and not rush him into anything this year. Now, having said that, there might be a world in which they decide, let's open up the window, throw him out on the practice field, and see what he can do. And I know he would love that. He would absolutely love that. He feels ready to go. But I think that they're going to be very, very careful with him. And he will be on the team next year. He will definitely be on the team next year.
He's not going to get cut over the summer?
No. Nope. He will be here. There are too many cap considerations for him to get cut or anything like that. He will be around.
All right, Mary Kay, we thank you very much for the time. All the very best to you and yours.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Is that bad news?
I think she's just giving you, because of the contract, a dose of the reality that maybe we've tried to avoid all year. Because for us, it's been out of sight, out of mind.
I obviously have some opinions on that coming up in 5 minutes on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Mentality Health and mentalityhealth.com.
probably wait until the offseason to put him out on the practice field. There might be a world in which they decide, let's open up the window, throw him out on the practice field, and see what he can do. And I know he would love that. He would absolutely love that. He feels ready to go. But I think that they're going to be very, very careful with him. And he will be on the team next year. He will definitely be on the team next year.
He's not going to get cut over the summer?
Nope. There are too many cap considerations for him to get cut or anything like that. He will be around.
That's Mary Kay with us just moments ago. I mean, there was some confusion earlier in the week about activating his practice window. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and talk about the missing link for crying out loud, but here we are. And I wanted some clarification because the first chance we get to talk to her is on Thursday. And so you have him here, and I'm just going, wait a minute, he's going to be on the team next year? And I think in so many ways, like, I don't think that's a great decision. I don't think that's a great idea. Can you talk me into that idea?
I guess I would
give you my reason.
Yeah, let me play devil's advocate because I thought about it a lot, and it's something we've just said and I've agreed with. Like, oh yeah, he'll be gone, and that'll be the end of it. They've ripped the signage down. He's an afterthought. He's never going to play another down for the Browns. But then I thought about it. Has he been some big distraction to the team this year? Has he been a reason for fans to be really that mad this year? I mean, if anything, I've heard the quarterback say Deshaun's been helping them out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll put his videos up on social media, but you're not compelled to follow him if you don't want to. So what has been the big problem? Like, yeah, they're losing games.
No, he hasn't been a problem.
But if he was in Miami instead of here, guess what their record would be?
He has not been a problem.
It'd be 2-8. So I guess my question would be, what's the difference? What is it?
The difference is the feeling of the fans. The difference is the feelings of the fans. They take him playing as a threat.
Okay. I mean,
but they don't make the fans even angrier at 2-8.
Are they as mad about that as they are seeing Dylan Gabriel play and be terrible, or seeing the half that Shador played and being terrible?
I think it's just
seeing Joe Flacco be terrible the first 4 games.
I think
it's all bad.
Wait a minute.
Until somebody steps up and plays good quarterback.
I think you're saying more.
What's the difference?
Hold on. There is a difference, and you know the difference. Those guys, Dylan Gabriel is not a representation of what you used to have. There's a whole history there with Deshaun Watson. You know, I can't believe I'm gonna get killed for saying this. I don't want to say it, but to make my point, I have to say this. I think a lot of Browns fans, he's a good quarterback, guys. He's a good quarterback. I think a lot of Browns fans overrate Baker Mayfield. He's really good, and he's going to take teams to the playoffs. Is he the guy that can compete with Mahomes and Allen and those? I don't really think so. Now, Mahomes might not even get to the playoffs this year, but I don't really think so. But he's a guy that can go to the playoffs each and every year. And I'd much rather have the arguments about that than the arguments we're having.
Looking back,
but, we're over there, and we're like, and the reason we do it, guys, and the reason why I say it's overrated, which is going to be clipped, and I'm going to catch hell for this for the rest of my life now, because I know that's what Keith wants to set up and do. So I just gave him carte blanche to just ruin my day. It's okay. He does it every chance he gets. The reason I bring that up is because it's been so bad since. It's been so bad since. But that's why we tend to do it. He is a representation of what you gave up at that time. And what we still could have had cooler heads just prevailed. Had everybody just kind of taken a step back. That's revisionist. It certainly is. But that's the way the fan base feels. Dylan Gabriel, they don't perceive him as a threat. Shador Sanders is certainly not a threat. I think both of them have their upsides and possibilities for the future and all that other stuff. I mean, I didn't write hope after the Vikings game. Zach wrote hope after the Vikings game. Like, people felt that way. Bailey Zappi's a Bailey Zappi. But Deshaun, that's a different animal. And when you get to that level, when you go into next year, hey, if you're keeping everybody, fine. If you make changes, don't you want to start fresh? Don't you want to start fresh? Doesn't everybody want to start fresh? Doesn't he want to start fresh?
Sure. I guess I'm just saying that Deshaun Watson has not mattered to me this year at all. I don't think it's weighing down the organization.
Yeah, you say that, but you've had fun. No, I don't believe you at all.
If they cut him tomorrow, are there going to be a bunch of people that are going to flood the ticket office to get season tickets?
No.
That's what I'm saying. But I think even the Browns, they're done getting the calls about how much. Like they did when they got Deshaun Watson.
I don't believe you.
Hold on. When they got Deshaun Watson.
Hold on. I still don't believe you.
When they got Deshaun Watson, there were people all over. They had advertisers drop out. They had partners that had been with them for a long time. There were people in that building that had high roles that were not necessarily cool with bringing in somebody with those allegations, even before everything even played out.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we're past all that now.
I don't think we are.
I don't think the switchboard is you haven't cut Deshaun Watson yet? I'm still not a Browns fan. Like, I just don't think people care as much anymore.
I don't think we are past that. And again, I don't believe you because you've made the jokes. You've wrung your hands like an evil villain and looked into the camera for YouTube yourself. So don't act like you haven't sat there
what do you mean?
And used him as some sort of a threat of the boogeyman
what
coming
have I
back.
Said?
You've made how many times have you made jokes this year? Don't act like you're like I'm stupid and making this up. How many times have you made jokes this year? I didn't take my phone and act like we were telling camping stories and scary stories with you talking about Deshaun Watson.
That's the fun of it. But I haven't
done that.
But
that's fun.
I also think, by the way,
but now you don't care.
I also
and you don't think that
honestly,
the fans care.
If Shedeur is really bad, and we already think Dylan's bad, and I don't know what they're going to do with Bailey Zappi or whatever, but. Is it really the end of the world if Deshaun plays Week 18?
No.
I mean, do you even
it's
remember?
Not the end of the world
do you
if
even
Deshaun
remember?
Plays Week 18.
It's funny. We were talking about.
He'll be on the road, so he won't get booed as bad when he takes the field.
My God. I just can't even get a thought out.
Okay,
I can't,
fine. The show is yours.
Let's not do the segment if I can't actually talk. So we were talking off the air about Bailey Zappi, and I asked Owen, I go, do you even remember Week 18 last year? Does anybody remember the Jeff Driscoll game either? I don't remember these games anyway, so I don't know. Are we that worried about what's the stadium going to look? Are they even at home in Week 18? Like,
no, they are in Cincy.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I'm past the Deshaun Watson thing. And if it's going to cost them $85 million in dead cap if they cut him at the end of the year, yeah, they're probably not going to do that. They're probably not.
All right.
What the one thing I am curious about is the whole salary cap relief and insurance policy. How would they get that if clearly in the videos that he's putting out, he looks fine? He looks like he could play football tomorrow. Why would insurance companies offer these policies and then let you collect if the guy can play? Like, it seems like that would be fraud.
I don't know. I just get a little bit frustrated because every time I kind of catch you in some of the crap you've done in the past, it's, I don't get a chance to get a word in on the show. Okay.
Well, you were talking over me. I think listeners could hear it.
Because I have to catch you because you start talking quickly and then we start having problems. That's how this goes. Can I go to a call?
Sure.
Okay, Robbie in Cleveland Heights. You're next up on the fan. Hello, Robbie.
Hey, how you guys doing? So I just wanted to talk real quick about Deshaun. More than anything else in my fandom has fractured the fan base. My wife won't go to games. I've been a season ticket holder since 2010, and we are dropping this year because A, it's hard to sell tickets. B, she doesn't want to go, so that's like one less person I can take to the game. I used to have 6 tickets. And I don't think you're completely right about the fact that like Deshaun has caused more damage to this fan base than any other. We can handle losing in Cleveland. What we can't handle is betrayal. And that's what it felt like to a lot of people, especially the women I know in my life. So just want to say that piece.
Listen, Robbie, there's no doubt what you're saying. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I've heard that from women. My thing is if they were 8-2 right now, and Deshaun's not even at these games, is he? Is he even on the sidelines?
I don't know if he's on sidelines.
Okay, like if they were 8-2, hold on. If they were 8-2, you wouldn't be going to the games.
The women in my life would not be. And
really? I see a lot of women there at the games right now. I mean, it's
really. Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, there are not.
Yeah,
there are
I see. And by the way, the opener this year, they were all tailgating. They were all at the bars. Like it was like it never happened. I was there.
First of all, tailgating. First of all, tailgating and in the stadium are two different things.
No, these were all people on West 6 who were making their way down to the game. You can't call me a liar. I was there. I saw it.
They were. Yeah. Because no one moves closer.
Robbie, were you there? You said you couldn't sell the tickets. Apparently, the money is the bigger issue for you. You're just mad that you thought it was a good investment to buy Browns tickets, Robbie.
I think that's a
good
cheap
move. How's that working out for you? You sound like the guys that are like PSLs. I'm going to be bathing in the money because I got Browns PSLs. Just be mad that you got suckered again because you're a Browns fan. Sorry, Robbie.
That's a cheap shot.
You're the dummy. Sorry about that.
No, sorry, man.
You just don't agree with me, but you're just mad that you couldn't make money off the Browns. Maybe the investment was poor, Rob, and just admit that the investment wasn't a good one for the team that has 40-some quarterbacks on the quarterback roster. Every time I hear this.
That stadium except for one game a year with my buddies. That's it. This is over for me for a standpoint. That's it, man.
So what could they do to get you back? It's cutting Deshaun?
Buy to the Haslams. That's it.
No,
so it doesn't even have to do with Deshaun at this point. You just don't like Jimmy.
The fact that they're criminals and they don't care about any morality in their program.
Reckless speculation.
That's not true, Robbie.
I have heard people say that. I definitely have heard people say that. But if they were 8-2, Robbie would be going to the games, and he'd probably try to sell some of the better games to get some of his money back.
I was on Robbie's side until that. No, I can't. I mean, if he would have just said what you set him up to say, I was like, well, okay. I didn't think that you talking about the price of the tickets was very kind to Robbie.
I just don't know how anybody could think the Browns tickets are a great investment for making money. It's 2025. When has that ever been the case?
Well, no,
they've never hosted a home game in the stadium in the playoffs.
I don't think unless you have NBA tickets, I don't think that having any tickets to make money is.
No.
Like when we had LeBron the first time around.
That was the time. For the first 2 years. For 2 years.
I could understand that, but after that, I was like, you kind of get tickets to go to the game. If you want to get your money back from somebody else,
Ohio State. If you're okay with selling the Michigan game, you can get your money back.
All right.
But that's about it.
9:20.
These are not good investments.
Lima's fighting for Cavs fans, and that's at 9:40 because he has a very valid point about something. Also, we don't get to give him a victory very often. And you can mark this a victory for Andrew Berry. That coming up next with Justin Termini at 9:20 on The Fan. Tom Merriman and Merriman Legal. You deserve peace.
football. I'll be inside at 7 o'clock right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Talk sports deep into the Cleveland night. Overtime with Jake Volnick. Weeknights at 7. Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Terminating in 20 minutes. We don't get to give Andrew Berry many victories around these parts. But I think Andrew's got a little bit of the old champion's pose, Tone. Are you done fighting with people about Deshaun Watson over there yet?
Honestly, there's not what I thought it would be. People are just talking about his cap hit and everything, and the type of restructures that would have to be done. Maybe there is a way.
Chris Cornwell says, is Ken going to be Chicken Little all basketball season? Twitter reactions brought to you by Scheib & Jewelers. Or social media reactions on X brought to you by Scheib & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. He says, am I going to be Chicken Little all basketball season? I thought I was telling people calm. Right?
Yeah.
I said I did the gloves.
Yeah.
I put the gloves on and said the gloves haven't come off.
Well, and then they did come off momentarily, but I didn't know if that was because it was getting warmer in here.
No, I took them off because it was time for the gloves to just come off. I was done with the whole thing of the bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the gloves are, if we're talking basketball, I guess I'll put the gloves on. Does it bother you my gloves are dirty?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No, it's just that it shows they've been used.
Yes. But are you done fighting with people about Deshaun?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're going to agree with each other on this. I think it might end up being too little too late. But do we want to give credit where it's due? I think we want to give credit where it's due. We want to be fair and balanced down the line.
I think that this show is known for that, right? YouTube Live?
Yes. I think people on the YouTube Live chat know that we are very fair and balanced people, and they never call us liars. Whatever reason. Go ahead. I want to give you your credit, because this is a hell of an observation.
I saw some people in the chat saying Ashton Genty is a total bust. And I looked at his numbers, and they are certainly not jumping off the screen at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's averaging 3.7 yards per carry. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns, 554 yards. Basically, from the rushing standpoint, I mean, Judkins has been better this year. Now, Genty has been more of a threat out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe that's because he's playing, even though the quarterback play has not been good there, but playing with a veteran quarterback knows how to do that as a safety valve or whatever. He does have 3 more touchdowns, through the air. So if you add them up, he's having, yardage-wise, touchdown-wise, he's having kind of a little bit better than Judkins in that regard. Judkins has him by a little bit in yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
Both offenses are a disaster. But, Genty was taken where? 6th overall. Judkins was taken where?
33rd.
Was it 33rd?
36th? He's taken in the early second round.
So they're kind of having pretty similar seasons.
And you get value. Now, Ashton Genty.
But we're not calling Judkins a bust.
No.
36.
But it's interesting how that's taken. Thank you, Owen.
Which
he's
is
taken
30 picks after.
But you don't take Quinshon Judkins as a bust because he's in the second round. But if Quinshon Judkins was taken 6th overall, what would you be saying? What would maybe not you, but what would a lot of people be saying?
No, that's a good point.
Value's value.
Yeah, Trent Richardson, his rookie year, and he was a first-round pick, and he was taken high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where was he taken?
10th?
But he had a bunch of touchdowns his rookie year and was, I think, close to 1,000 yards. But he was looking like a bust. Oftentimes during that year. I thought maybe he could get better. He did not get better. He got worse.
It's a tough deal for him. But I don't get to give Andrew Berry a whole lot of credit. Very much.
3rd overall for Trent Richardson.
Oh, my God, 3rd.
I signed off on that. I signed off on that. I think that's the last running back I signed off on taking that high.
I thought he was going to be great.
They traded him for a first-round pick the next year.
We got the best year out of him.
We did.
He almost had 1,000 yards.
We
were the team that had the best year out of him. So if anybody won anything out of Trent Richardson, I guess it was us, but I don't think
that's Joe Banner?
No. I think that was Mike Holmgren.
Was it?
I think that was Holmgren. I think it was
Joe
him
Banner
and Whedon.
traded him. Joe Banner traded him.
No, I'm not giving Joe Banner any credit at all. Oh, no. Once you sit there and you pick guys out of a magazine and then you go ahead and judge the guys who came after you and tried to talk the owner into first off, you talked the owner into firing a guy after 1 year, and then you tried to say that you were going to be able to get Jim Harbaugh.
You laugh
Jim
about
Harbaugh's
picking...
casket wouldn't be drugged through here, let alone coach this football team. And somehow he tried to talk everybody into he was going to hire Jim Harbaugh.
Kenny laughs about picking out of a magazine. You can guarantee
what
that later rounds in the draft, people are going to be using the AI as another data point, at least. I think Eric DeCosta actually kind of admitted that with the Ravens.
Wait a minute, are you using AI for information, or are you just letting AI make the pick?
I use it.
You can't chat GPT a draft.
I use it for making my charts, Kenny.
That's fine.
You know you love my charts.
That's fine, but you can't chat GPT or Gemini 3 a draft. Don't do that.
At least someone has tried to do that.
Well, that would be asinine. Justin Termini going to join us coming up at 9:20 this morning. Is it time to have the Evan Mobley conversation? Speaking of the Cavs.
You know what?
I don't know how I'm getting called Chicken Little over here. I'm trying to calm everybody down.
I got a new take on Evan, and it's up to him to prove it wrong.
But
I
don't
actually
know what Chicken Little is.
I actually don't think it's a bad state of affairs. Like, I watched Evan last night, and it was so clear. I even said on Twitter, it was jarring to see how much more gifted offensively Sengun was. Sengun. He was awesome. Like, has all the skill, could back all these guys down. Smaller defender, bigger defender. He gets to where he wants to on the court. He's a gifted passer, and I think Evan does some really good things passing the ball too. But it's no comparison. One, in his fourth year or fifth year, he's just so far advanced than Mobley offensively. Mm-hmm. Now, defensively, Mobley is a maven. He's the reigning defensive player of the year. I don't think he'll ever win one again if Wembanyama's healthy enough. But he is awesome on defense, and Mobley does a lot of things really well. But this is where my take is, my new informed opinion. We keep talking about Mobley and his ceiling. Oh my God, his ceiling. It's a unicorn. It's Giannis. It's him going coast to coast and playing point. Not at the stage of his career. I actually think it's the fact that his floor is so high. That guy can have games where I watch and I'm like, ugh, man, what a rough game for Mobley. 18-10, 18-8, 20-8, 22-10, 22-8. His floor is pretty much that. That's what Mobley is giving you game in and game out, whether he plays a good game or a bad game. There's function in that. Now, what that isn't is a takeover guy in the playoffs. That's not that.
Do you think he ever will be?
Maybe right now we have to recalibrate.
Do you think he ever will be?
I thought for sure he would make a huge leap this year offensively, and he hasn't.
Okay.
And now his jumper's broke.
So if I'm going to get mad later on in the year, I ain't mad right now. And I think that I'm trying to find some things here that, hey, they're trying some different things. I don't think he responds to discomfort very well when it comes to the offense. He's a defensive guy. Clearly, I don't think he responds very well when he's uncomfortable with how their offenses run. And because they're changing some things and trying some different things, I don't think that he's going to respond to that very well. Now, that said, if we get to like January 1st, in the first week of January, and we're still dealing with all this stuff, am I going to get mad at him or am I going to get mad at Kobe Altman? Am I going to get mad at anybody? I don't want to fly off the handle during a basketball season, 16
I'd like to
games
see him
into
with
the
Garland
season.
and Strus.
But as of right now, there's a lot of things that we can say that just is very true about this team. One, they don't handle change very, very well, except for Donovan Mitchell. Okay, but I can't just keep relying on only Donovan Mitchell, and that's it. Two, they're much worse defensively. And that's not just an effort thing. I think they're getting lost in transition. I think they're getting lost on switches. Maybe you disagree, but fine. Three, Evan Mobley is the biggest conversation that we have because for this to go where it needs to go, it's got to be Evan Mobley. 4, and yeah, I can get to number 4. You're just not as good as any team in the West. That's a competitive team. That is a contender. You're just not as good as them. So this is a year where, yes, Tyrese Halliburton is basically done. Jason Tatum is basically done. Those are your two biggest things. You have the Knicks that you have to worry about. Maybe you have the Pistons that you have to worry about. We'll see where they are. And I know Orlando is still lying in the weeds for everybody to go out there and snipe somebody. But when it comes to the West, I mean, you go down the line. Lima, you said it yourself. They're probably a 7 seed. Now, there's a lot. Those 4 things, Evan's the biggest one. Those 4 things you have to clean up if you want me to take you seriously in the West. So I'm not firing off alarm bells because I know they brought it back within 2, but they weren't very good last night against Houston. Because they got beat against Houston in a perfectly sound NBA game, I'm not firing off any alarm bells. But if they play him on, December 27th, and they go down to Houston and they beat up the Houston Rockets, do I bring along different energy
with Darius
the next day? With Darius, exactly. Do I bring along different energy the next day and go, well, this is different because they have Darius? I'm trying to remain consistent with this team because I knew going in, I wanted change. I wanted them to try new things. If I want them changing things and trying some new things, I can't raise hell on them every single morning after they lose.
The funny thing is, Kenny, even with their flaws and the fact they haven't been healthy, like Detroit is 13-2. I've watched Detroit. They're tough. They're physical. Cade is inefficient, but is definitely controlling games, and they're a problem. Like in a series, I think they would cause some problems. But I still think the Cavs can win the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference with all their flaws, and they need to get Garland back first and foremost. And it looks like he might be back Friday. Like I think that's going to be huge. So I'm not making these huge declarations about them come playoff time yet. The East is also just the top of the East is just nothing compared to the top of the West. It just isn't.
We have some people who want to get in. I'm going to try to get to you guys coming up here in a bit. 216-474-0092. However, is it just early? Is it just early and some things need to be ironed out for the Cleveland Cavaliers, or are these real problems that are going to be a problem down the line? Justin Termini, Sirius XM NBA Radio, the NBA Today with Eddie Johnson is going to join us next. He plays tennis in the morning.
Ooh.
Another win for Milos coming up next on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Fanatics Sportsbook. Hey.
had to go last night without Sam Merrill. He's dealing with a sprained right hand. It's an injury he suffered during Monday's win against Milwaukee. Despite that injury, Merrill still managed to score 20 points against the Bucks on 7 of 10 shooting. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, followed by Thursday Night Football. All starts tonight at 7 o'clock right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Cavaliers now 10-6. People want me to take the gloves off Evan Mobley or take the gloves off when it talks to Evan Mobley. You don't wear gloves out there.
Maybe that's why he's shooting so poorly.
You allowed to wear gloves in the NBA, Tone?
Gloves?
Let's go to Justin Termini.
I remember Dwayne Wade was wearing full armor from head to toe and was just jumping into and he was getting calls. They won a whole NBA Finals like that.
Oh, he looked like Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
Might as well have been wearing a cape. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
We're doing well.
Termini.
Justin Termini joins us right now, Sirius XM NBA Radio. He's the host of NBA Today with Eddie Johnson. Probably the closest show to us when it comes to taking personal shots at each other on the air.
Yeah, let's raise the level here. I want to hear more personal shots, Justin.
How long have you guys been on the air together?
We've been on the air about 11 years. How about you and Anthony? How long have you guys
9. So we're they're before us. So I have to give them the proper credit. There you go. Congratulations.
Yeah, and give me the proper credit as well. You say Sirius XM NBA Radio. I'm now on NBA TV as well. So throw that out there.
Yeah, what channel?
NBA TV.
Yeah, what channel? It doesn't help if I can't find you. See, I'm on Channel 8 here in Cleveland. They just hit 8, and there I am. You see how that works?
No, I'm not in Cleveland. I'm international. It's Channel 8 out of Cleveland International. Can you see that in Italy, in Australia, in China?
The Fox 8 CLE Plus app, you can do a lot of other things, as well as 19 Cleveland CLE 19 on their app, with Lima's on 19, and on Rock, and all that other stuff. You don't impress me.
Well, I'm not trying to impress you. More importantly, I'm trying to impress the girls of Cleveland. Like that would be nice.
Yeah, but but there was a listener one time, and she was tweeting at you, and she was definitely willing to meet up with you, and then you were like, I'm a little bit afraid. You were all nervous.
Well, I'm going to travel 700 miles to meet one of your listeners. I don't think that's going to happen. She wants to come to me. That's fine.
What's the furthest you've ever traveled for something like that?
I've never even been offered anything, 2 minutes away. So,
all right. Should I be taking off the gloves when it comes to Evan Mobley here?
Well, I don't think so. What are you so upset about? His shooting percentage dipping. I heard you kind of mention that.
Well, I'm not upset, but there's
more threes.
I woke up to a bunch of people going like, even my buddies texting me like, when are you gonna start ripping this guy? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, stop carrying water? Like my buddy Scott, stop carrying water for him. Like, I don't think I'm carrying water for him, but he is 5 years into his career. I don't think he's very comfortable with offensive change. I don't think they're very comfortable with some of the offensive changes that they're trying out right now. But that doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and go crazy 16 games into their changes that they're trying to make, because I think that this is an effort to make them better in the postseason. Is it not, Justin?
Yeah, and I think, I talked to Nick Nurse a couple of years ago, and he was like, all right, and this is before they traded DeMar DeRozan, who he never got the chance to coach, but essentially what they kept doing is the same thing Cleveland is doing now, where they're hitting their head come postseason time, despite the fact they're dominating the regular season, and Nick Nurse was like, hey, we're going to sacrifice some games in the regular season in order to change some stuff up, experiment, that way we get to the postseason, and we'll be able to, give you a couple of different looks, and it's, to some extent, it's what Donovan Mitchell said a couple of days ago. It's like we didn't face any adversity last year because they had a 15-game win streak, a 12-game win streak, another 12-game win streak. They really cruised, and once they did face some adversity, they were ill-equipped to handle it. So I think it's okay to get a little adversity and, fiddle around with the offense a little bit early on in the season.
Yeah, and Justin, obviously they have not had Darius Garland, and as much as I have complained about Darius come playoff time, regular season, he's sensational and a huge engine for them. And without him, it's really tough to evaluate where the Cavs truly are and whether or not they can be better than last year.
Yeah, I mean, Max Strus is going to start for them too, correct? Right? I mean, I'm assuming he goes back into the starting lineup. So you're missing 2 starters. You're missing 2 of your 5 starters. So I think that plays a major role. Plus, Lonzo Ball's just getting his legs underneath him again. Clearly he struggled so far, but I think he does do a lot of things that you need and changes things up. He's a nice change of pace. So, I'm not too concerned about it. The 3-point shooting isn't there right now. That's probably the biggest. So I can't explain the rebounding. Maybe you guys can for me. I feel like they were great on the boards last year. They've struggled this year on that end. The 3-point shooting, that can come and go. And they've had a rough start to the season with that, even though they're jacking them up more than anybody else in the league. So I think that's the biggest difference. You're taking a lot of threes. You're not making them. Last year, you're taking a lot of threes, and you're making a lot of threes.
Justin Termini joining us right now on the hotline. Is there anything that's happened in the Eastern Conference that has changed your thought about the hierarchy?
I mean, I don't think you can ignore the way that the Pistons are playing. Like Toronto, I don't necessarily take for real because I think they're doing it with defense, but there's nobody on offense that I think can take over a game come playoff time. They're kind of doing it by ensemble. With Detroit, I mean, they got 2 guys that look like they're absolute studs. Cade Cunningham, you could make the argument. Now, I still want to give that to probably Donovan Mitchell, maybe Jalen Brunson in regards to the second best player in the Eastern Conference. But I don't think if somebody wanted to call up your show and say, hey, I think Cade Cunningham is the second best player in the East behind Giannis, you could call him an absolute moron. You'd have to hear him out. So they have a guy that can take over a postseason game and certainly be the best player in a playoff series if they were to meet the Cavs. And then Jalen Duren is an absolute beast inside. So, yeah, I think you have to take the Pistons seriously. Outside of that, nothing has changed my mind with what I've seen.
Justin Termini joining us here on the show. Do you think there's too many threes being taken in the NBA now? We didn't get a nasty email, but we got an email from somebody who went to the Cavs-Houston Rockets game yesterday. They were appalled.
Well, I mean, that's been that way the last couple of years. I actually think it's come down a little bit. This year, and I think one of the reasons was Oklahoma City didn't win with the 3-ball last year. Indiana, the same thing. I felt those guys played a different style than Boston the year before. If you wanted to complain after Boston won the title, because listen, I'm sitting here, I can see the Boston Garden from my window. They take too many threes. So you want to complain about the Celtics taking too many? That's fine. But
congratulations on all your success.
Yeah, thank you. And Cleveland takes too many as well. So you guys take too many threes as well. It's not necessarily appetizing on the eye.
So that's going to end up hurting us in the postseason, right?
I mean, listen, the Celtics won when they did it, but there's just too much variance. I don't think if you have so much talent, you should be leading the league in threes. I think that's something you have to do when you're not as talented and hope that you get hot and then you beat the more talented team. So, I don't think the Cavs necessarily should lead the league when they have as much talent as they do, especially when you have guys like Evan Mobley, you got Jarrett Allen, you got guys that, Donovan Mitchell can score at the rim. So I don't like the idea of relying on it so much.
All right, I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I saw you quote tweeted something Steve Kerr said that he's alarmed about the soft tissue injuries. But
what's the matter?
Well, Justin, 200 games. I'm reading Tom Haberstroh right now. Stars have missed over 200 games this season due to injury or illness, doubling the total we saw at this point 2 years ago. What do you make for this? How big of a problem is this for the league?
Well, I mean, it's a big problem when guys aren't playing. And I think my issue is more the messenger than it is actually the message that's being sent. Sometimes it gets lost because Steve Kerr complains every single day. So I'm am I willing if Eric Spoelstra wants to say something, or if Kenny Atkinson out there in Cleveland wants to say something, Rick Carlisle is the head of the coaches association, fine. It kind of gets lost when Steve Kerr's doing it. Also, Steve Kerr's got one of the older teams in the NBA. Was Steve Kerr complaining 7 years ago when his team led the league constantly in pace with Golden State, but Steph Curry was 26 instead of 36, 37 years of age? It's an issue, but it's also your job to manage your roster so guys don't get hurt. In baseball, did they change the rules and go from 9 innings to 6 innings? No, they just said, all right, we're going to pitch our starters around 5 innings or 90 pitches, 100 pitches instead of 125 in 9 innings like we used to do back in the 60s. So you have to change and find a way to utilize. You can't just go, shorten the season, shorten the games. It's the NBA's fault. Like Steve Kerr's complaining about 4 games in 5 nights and back-to-backs like we used to have, and then he's going, but it also stinks to have it every other day. Okay, so what does Steve Kerr want to do then? What's his solution outside of shortening the season, which is never going to happen because guys aren't going to give money back, including Steve Kerr?
Justin Termini joining us on the show. Well, the Cavs were fined $100,000 for not putting guys out there.
Like, I was on the air when I saw that, and why is Cleveland saying on their report, like, rest for Evan Mobley, rest for Donovan Mitchell? Because in the same exact city last night, Golden State did it right after Steve Kerr essentially admitted he was going to rest guys, but they listed Jimmy Butler out with a back, Draymond with an illness, and Steph with an ankle. So at least they put next to their names like, maybe they'll get fined anyway. I don't know, but at least they came up with like these fake injuries. Cleveland's like, rest for Mobley, rest for Donovan Mitchell. So once they did that, you knew they were going to be fined because that's against the rules.
Well, so I see people saying today's NBA stars are soft. And like the Kawhi Leonard, he's the example everyone's going to bring up. And he has had serious injuries basically throughout his whole career. But you never knew if you were going to get Kawhi Leonard. If you bought tickets to a game, are you getting to see Kawhi Leonard? Last night, tickets to the Cavs game they're basically giving them away. And I talked to some people that I was sitting around and they're like, the problem is nobody knows who's going to play from night to night. We didn't know if Kevin Durant was going to play tonight or not, even though he was never on an injury report. So how does the NBA fix this? Do you think it's the players that are soft, or do you think these are the teams that are so worried about playoff time, having their guys healthy, that they're the ones doing the load managing?
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I feel like it's a combination of the two because I feel like any player that wants to play that's a relatively big name can play 82 games, and the organization can't say anything because they have so much power. So if Donovan Mitchell's like, you're not holding me out of this game against Miami last week, then they're going to keep him in the game because then Donovan Mitchell can go like, all right, well, I'll go find an organization that'll allow me to play and do whatever I want. So I don't think these organizations, I think they just say it's our decision and the player has no say, so they protect the player from being criticized. And I understand times have changed, but like my question to Steve Kerr and anybody else that's like, this is the hardest it's ever been. And we talked about this yesterday on my show, and maybe you can answer this for me, okay? Because Steve Kerr keeps citing the pace. Well, the pace was faster back in the day, all the way up till 1989. Now, this is the fastest it's been since 1989, but just about every single season from like 1960 through 1989, the pace was faster, okay? So let's go back to 1960, where the pace was basically 126 possessions per game. Now it's 100, okay? So it was much faster back then by like 33% or whatever that is. I'm not good at math, but it was faster back then. Then, for example, Bill Russell played 5 consecutive games in 5 different nights and played, 53 in one of those, 53 minutes in one of them, 48 multiple times. The least amount of minutes he played was 43. Plus, Bill Russell has worse shoes, worse travel, not only worse hotels. Some hotels he's being told he's, not even allowed to be in because of his skin color. So mentally, that's taxing as well. Yet he's able to do it. Now, again, they didn't have as much power to complain back then as they do now. But can somebody tell me how what they're doing right now is harder than Bill Russell, what he was doing in?
I will tell you. I can tell you what's harder. Yeah, I could tell you. The guys, they've done the math on this. They're running so much more because there's so much more space to cover. And go watch some of those games in the 80s. They're just running. They're just running down. They're jogging down. Like they're not. When we're saying pace as if all pace is created equal. This game is way more taxing in games.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. You got to go out and guard the 3-point line, whereas you didn't back then. So that's one aspect of it. But then I just listed about 7 other things that were more difficult back then. So there's one thing that's a little bit more difficult. But again, you're supposed to be a better athlete. Human evolution.
But also back then, every team had a guy, they called it the pivot. Every team had a guy in the pivot, and they'd throw the ball down to him. He'd throw it back out to the 3-point line. They'd throw it back down to the guy.
Pass 4 times.
And it was just that back and forth. And I'm like, compare that to today when, as a defender, you have got to chase Steph Curry around a staggered screen. Then when they get you out of whack and there's an offensive rebound and a quick kick out, then you got to sprint to the other corner. And it's like no compare. You're not seeing that at all in the 80s.
You don't have to. James Harden doesn't do that. So
yeah, that's true. That is true.
Guys do it. But yes, no. So I understand that. So that's like one or two things that yes are harder about today. But it was also very difficult then. What I'm saying is,
sounds like you just don't like your sport, Termini. Yeah. Sounds like you need to get off NBA radio and go follow something else.
I love football. I don't sit there and just say you just hate basketball. Just call yourself a basketball hater.
I absolutely despise it. It's why I attacked Steve Kerr yesterday for bringing up a negative when there's a bunch of positive stuff going on in the league right now.
Don't change the
subject.
There's
a bunch of positive stuff, but Steve Kerr's got to point out the negatives every 5 minutes. I'm in the media trying to talk about good stuff.
I got a negative. So you have come to the right place. I was at the game last night. There were like 4 or 5 stoppages because of challenges.
We don't have time for him to bitch about
Is it a take foul? Is it not a take foul? You talked about the 100 possessions each team has. Teams can routinely wipe off 20-point deficits because of three-point shooting. Why are we allowing any challenges in the first half? Who cares? Who cares?
I think it's a great idea. I think they should allow more challenges.
More?
I like the breakage in play. Oh, well, you want me to say I'm too negative? I'm being positive. I think this is all good for the league. But the other thing is, that's the time for these guys to rest. You're told they got to go out and guard the three-point line. Blah, 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 blah. They're traveling more miles. All right, well, they also have these massive stoppages of play.
Fair point.
Which they didn't back in 1960. If somebody got slugged across the eyebrow or the forehead, they just had to get up and continue playing without a break. So that's
I don't care who the ball, when somebody is defending and swipes at the ball and we're sitting there for 4 minutes determining if the ball went off the offensive player's fingertip, who cares? Just give the ball to the other team and go the other way. We're going to have 1,000 more possessions tonight. Who cares?
Well, I agree. Like, for example, you go back, like a fun little thing to do with like all the great plays in NBA history that would be wiped out and wouldn't be able to exist if you had the rules like they do today. My favorite play of all time, I think it's the greatest defensive play maybe in the history of the sport, is when Bird stole the ball from Isaiah. Like, that was a controversial play where the ball went out of bounds. If you go back, like, you probably don't even need to go back and look at it because it's so well documented you can remember. Like, it was like, who did that ball go off of? I still don't know if they got the call correct and it really went off Detroit. Like, it's difficult to, or it really went off Boston. It's difficult to tell. You would have had a stoppage in play.
We'll watch it during the break, and we will come back and tell our listeners.
Fine, we got to go. Oh, we have to go. I hate to cut this off. By the way, you can watch him on Channel 325 on Spectrum.
I wanted to find out who the ball went on.
Justin, somebody on the YouTube chat found where NBA TV was. Channel 325 on Spectrum. There you go.
There you go. Congratulations. Now I got to work on Channel 8 out of Cleveland.
728 Breeze Line, 422 Charter, 363.
All right, Justin, goodbye.
Yeah, farewell.
Justin Termini, SiriusXM NBA Radio, the NBA Today with him and Eddie Johnson. He's fantastic.
I got the play up. We're going to watch.
You and your charts, by the way. You are so proud of that effing chart. You said it to
nobody cares.
During the interview.
Nobody cares. I just laugh. Nobody shoots free throws in today's NBA well. What the heck? I could shoot them in high school.
If you really cared, they put the poster boards up in the concourse. You should have made it into a poster board.
I should have made it into a poster board.
You are like some sixth grader who made a volcano in science class. You're trying to show everybody.
Just look at my chart.
Lima's going to save basketball, amongst other things. And is the Youngstown market a bigger issue than we think it should be? It's Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan. Extend Technologies in Broadview Heights, XTE.
customers for auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 256 gigabytes, $830 required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Whenever you need to talk about the Browns, we got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
I knew he'd post that bleeping video. I knew it. Now I'm going to get cussed out all day. All I said, it was to make my point about the Watson argument we were having earlier, because it's not... Guys, welcome back to 2022. Hi, how's everybody doing? Mary Kay said that Deshaun Watson's going to be on the team next year, and I went, that's not good. And Lima's like, oh, who cares? I go, no, the fans care. And the worst thing is, look at you laughing now, because you know what you do. You know what you do. I hate you. God, I mean, I don't hate you, but I hate you. I don't hate you, but I hate you. Because, damn it, you knew. You knew at the time. And then you sit there and tell me that I can't get a word in. Because I'm saving you from yourself, because you know what you do to the fans. You know what you do.
Deshaun Watson's coming back. Whoa.
Please. Make a video of that. Please. Please. He turns this thing into Are You Afraid of the Dark every time we talk about Deshaun Watson. Anytime it's even possibly mentioned. And then I'm going, and then he's sitting there accusing me of going, why do you care? Why do you care? I go, they care. The fans care. They don't want to see him out there. Dylan Gabriel and Shador and all that stuff is way better. And I had said, this is part of the reason, and I'm just going to get smashed over the face over this. And God, do I hate you for making me do it. I hate Keith for making a big deal. God, I hate you.
Baker's so perfect for radio arguments.
He's a fine quarterback. Guys, Baker is a fine quarterback. You guys ain't going to post this video, I guarantee it. Baker is a fine quarterback. He's not Josh Allen, okay? There's other guys that are better than him.
But he can have games where he is as good as those guys. He can have games. And then he also he also has his downfall games.
I don't think that he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. However, and they'll cut it off right there, guarantee it. You go ahead and do it. I'll just take tomorrow off. I'll call in sick. I will have my own silent protest. However, the floor for Baker, which is a competitive football team that can go to the playoffs, that's his floor, is much better than any of this. It's way better than any of this. Way better. This whole thing that I get called a gas bag over and have a conniption fit over and get all red-faced and all that other stuff, and Albert Breer's making fun of it and all that. It's way better than this. It's way better than this. Like, when he was here, he's not as good as we make him out to be, and he wasn't as good as what he is now. Good quarterback. But he's not he's not a Super Bowl winner to me. Okay? He could go out and win it. Fine. We'll still be in a horrible situation.
Holy cow. I mean, when he was looking like an MVP candidate in the first 5-6 weeks of the year, I was like, what if this dude actually is? And then they've had injuries, so he's come back down. He's regressed to the mean. Their schedule looks, after this week, they are in prime time coming up on Sunday against the Rams on the road. After that, Cardinals, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. They'll be favorites in every single one of those games. They're 6-4 now. So let's say they lose to the Rams this week, 6-5, and then go 4-1. You know, they're gonna win 10 games. They're gonna make the playoffs again. So Baker will be back to the playoffs.
Does Shador's performance have any bearing on Deshaun Watson playing this year? Mary Kay said they'd rather him go to OTAs. I'm thinking, if he doesn't play well,
I think he'd have to be injured. I think if he got injured,
really,
you're running out of bodies. Like, I know Bailey Zappi's there too, and he's been with them now for how many weeks? So I don't know. Is there a world we live in where Bailey Zappi could start the rest of the games?
Tony Starr on YouTube says, I don't speak for Browns fans because I have a bigger voice. Then he said Baker Mayfield lost his shot when he lost to Chad Henning.
Oh, come on.
Kurt's son.
Yeah. Chad the Axe Henning. There you go.
Think about where we were on Baker when the Browns almost won that game against freaking Patrick Mahomes on the road. And then we led the season with him the following year. And we came down. Didn't we have a good first half in that game?
What? Yeah. Who?
The Browns?
Yes. Against who?
Against Kansas City again.
Chiefs to start it off.
We could have won the game. Yeah. Could have won the game.
The next week was the Texans game when he hurt his shoulder.
That's when he
could have won the game.
And he started out hot in that game, did he?
Mm-hmm. He did.
Mm-hmm.
He was like 9-9 in that Texans game.
And now what's going on?
And then
he plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Anthony Schwartz short-armed a pass.
Yes.
Then Baker tried to make a tackle. And
he somehow played the rest of the season?
Life has never been the same. Life has never been the same. Whoever we draft this coming year, or if Shedeur goes out there and balls out on Sunday, and again, I think there's a lot of things that are against him to do that. If any of them go to try to make a tackle, that will be the end of me. I can't do that again. You throw a pick, just walk off the field. Don't please.
Try. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. You excited about your chart that you made about your free throws and your whatnot?
I thought people would be excited to know current trends in the NBA and painstaking efforts to run the data sets.
Worst part of the
AI.
That sounds terrible. Worst part of the game was what?
When Lima tried to sell me on his charts?
No, when Lima had to sit through the coach's challenges.
Brutal.
I agree with you. No first half challenges.
It was
honestly
brutal.
Only fourth quarter challenges.
I mean, seriously.
Regular season NBA games should be only fourth quarter challenges.
What would we be missing out on?
Plus, a lot of the refs, you have a couple refs who are kind of like cool about it. Most refs just look into the camera like you're a cop being pulled over, or like you're being pulled over by a cop. It's very weird.
It did give me a lot more time to go back up, go get some more drinks.
Maybe that's part of the reason they do it. Okay.
NBA
games, to everybody who joined us today.
NBA games should be 2 hours 20 minutes. Now they're 2:45.
Thanks to Justin Termody for joining us. NBA Radio on Sirius XM. Thanks to Mary Kay Cabot. We're back tomorrow. The Dangerous One will join us. Nathan's Girl will join us. It's going to be a fantastic time. Join us, won't you? Have a wonderful day, my friends. Go Browns. Hey.
Sounds good. Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show.
Loser town, loser fans, and you guys are a loser show.
Probably because he was kind of talking out of his ass.
Ho. I don't know television.
What did you win an Emmy for?
Sports.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute.